on stage Sri Anil Kumaru Ipur Garu, Mr. Dhanraj Tirmalai, and Dr. Anupama Kunduru. We are awaiting the arrival of Honorable Information, IT and Industries Minister. As you all may know, we had the Honorable CM announced the MSME policy for our state of Telangana, which was long delayed for more than, I think, several years. I think the last policy was almost a decade ago, I think, 14 years. So it's very welcome news. There was quite a few points and discussions that were made in the morning, and that's the point of this discussion today, as we await the arrival of the minister. And we also have a presentation that is, you can see it on screen. This has some of the policy recommendations that the government is making, and also all the recommendations that we as CII and other industry organizations have given to the government in the form of representations, including Ivan. We were just discussing with Ivan, we will discuss that. I think as a first step, we will go through the slides, and then we could have some talking points on what we are also advocating to the government. Not obviously from an MSME perspective, but also from many different aspects as to how Telangana as a state can become a $1 trillion economy at the earliest possible instance. Thank you. Can we have the next set of slides? So the ambition of the policy. So the ambition of the policy is inclusive and uniform MSME growth across the state. The impact is approximately 10% increase in MSME. And resulting in increased demand. All of this is possible. We can also move our MSMEs not just as a supplier or not just as a service provider within the state or within the country, but also globally. I think that's the whole objective as we go along. So, there is a lot of consultative meetings. I think CII has given a lot of representation, so have a lot of other industry organizations. I think Ivan has also given a lot of suggestions. Several meetings were conducted. I think the industry's secretary was mentioning this during his morning presentation. Some of the policy strategies are that life cycle focus, looking at a complete life cycle management of an industry or an organization, hand-holding support, dedicated MSME wing providing 24/7 support for all MSMEs. In this, in fact, one of our requests and recommendations is that, there was discussion on a task force for MSMEs, but I think some of us in CII, we think that they should, just like agriculture, there should be a minister or a ministry for MSMEs. I think that's the level of focus I think MSMEs should get, and I think that's what we will request for in your MSME panel also. I think I request the members to discuss that.
AP is already having MSME minister.
Yes, sir.
Neighboring state AP has an MSME.
MSME ministry. Okay, all right. So I think we should really push for that then. I think development for all. There is a lot of focus on women and SC/ST units. This is also has been a recommendation from us, because we think that if Telangana has to be a developed economy, we can't do it without the more increased participation of women in all our activities, not just MSMEs but across the board. Industry 4.0 orientation, this is very important for MSMEs because even large companies like ours are struggling with how to introduce the next levels of technology into our business processes and work processes, and for MSMEs that's even more important. And there are areas where there can be workshops and training sessions that are developed for this. I think we can discuss more about that. And this also ties in with CII's own Center of Excellence that have been established in Madurai recently. And also uniform development. I think that is the concept of going beyond Hyderabad in all the other districts, and balanced approach. Financial incentives and non-financial interventions under the policy. Again, the 6 constraints of growth they've identified was land, finance, raw materials, labor, technology, and markets. I think in all of these areas, they have announced a certain certain concepts in the policy document. I think we would get to review that. And also in terms of access to land, we've announced 10 industrial parks between ORR and the regional ring road. 5 are dedicated specifically to MSMEs. 1 park reserved for women-owned MSMEs and innovative startups. And 5% of the plots have been reserved for women and 15% reserved for SC/ST entrepreneurs. And I think this is something that Ivan had specifically given a recommendation for this. And expand all areas marked for industrial, commercial, and mixed-use zones between the ORR and regional ring road. Also, there is a land cost rebate that has been announced, and also development of private flatted factory complexes and industrial parks. In terms of access to finance, there is a subsidy collateralization scheme for MSMEs using the proof of entitlement of benefit. Capital investment subsidy for SC/STs and others, and also women, with a cap of up to 20 lakhs, I guess. Pilot program where MSMEs can access credit based on future sales. This is something, these kind of banking functions are already available for larger organizations. I think that's made available to MSMEs also now. Empanel third parties to provide bookkeeping and financial advice, production of videos and basic bookkeeping training. In terms of raw materials, again, 10 common facility centers around MSME clusters and districts that will have testing facilities and under PPP arrangements. Encourage warehouses for duty discount, allotment of raw material by various departments in a timely manner, and also facilitate onboarding of business facilitators to onboard MSMEs to online platforms, ONDC, Power to SME, and with B2B transactions. And there was also a discussion on the GEM portal. Several MSMEs conduct their business. We were having a discussion before the meeting today. In a way, the GEM portal action, because we have access as companies, we have access to the entire Indian procurement market in a single portal, as long as government and central government agencies are procuring. But we just need to learn how to harness it well. Maybe the government, we could, as a recommendation, we could request whether they could have some centers, one in each district, where smaller companies can use their service to conduct their business. If you can think about it, 20 years ago, we have internet centers, something like that. Maybe we could have GEM centers or something like that, only for smaller entities that are not able to get this work, because quite a few of the people who had come today, they were complaining that they can't really do all the paperwork required for GEM. I mean, in my company, we have 5 people, they only do GEM work. They don't do anything else. But in other companies, it's not the same. So I think that is something that we should think about. Skill development is very important, not just for large companies, but AVPS, please. Skill development. Oh, Vice Chair is here. Please come, sir. Skill development is something that is very important, not just for large companies, but also for MSMEs. There was a mention of a Young India Skills University, that there is an announcement that was already made. They have requested Mr. Anand Mahendra to be the chairman of this university. And I think tomorrow they said there is also a discussion about this university. They've invited all the board members. Srini Rajagaru is going to be the vice chair of this university. They are working towards building a corpus fund for this university. I think the number mentioned by the Chief Minister was, I think, 300 to 400 crores was the number that was mentioned. Integration of apprenticeship opportunities to TG DEET platform to reduce the surge cost of labor. Simplify labor laws, compliance standards for MSMEs. Regulatory reforms in Telangana factories rules of 1950. Access to technology to encourage technology upgradation to accelerate production. Commission comprehensive survey technology adoption by MSMEs and develop a catalog of tech products for Industry 4.0. Constitute a 100 crore Yantram fund to encourage adoption of technology by MSMEs. And also several new sectors, for example, are also talking about these kinds of concepts. We had a meeting of the defense and the aerospace industry just last week, and one of their requests was to have a centralized testing and product development facility, because all of the smaller defense and aerospace companies don't have the in-house capability, and some of that equipment, which is very high-end equipment, is very expensive. It's in the several crores. Maybe it is not what the government has done for the pharma industry or for the vaccine industry in Genome Valley, or for the high-tech even technology industry, IT industry in Madhapur. I think something like that, maybe a core facility with testing and product development equipment will be very helpful. Expanding the reach of MSMEs to domestic and global markets. This is, I think, is very important, because when we think of MSMEs, we are always thinking about MSMEs servicing Telangana and Hyderabad. I think we should look beyond and think about servicing the rest of the country. That's where entities like the GEM portal and other portals come in handy. But we should also keep thinking about foreign markets. It's not uncanny for many MSMEs to work directly with foreign markets. The artisans are already doing it. People who are in arts and crafts, they're already doing that. In other states, I have seen that farmer producer organizations that are collectively doing crop procurement from local farmers in a cooperative setup, they are having direct platforms to export produce to foreign countries, Europe and US and many parts of the Middle East. I think there's no reason why we should not be able to duplicate that in our state. An enterprise development platform, development center platform for export compliances, and also to reimburse duty on samples valued up to 10 lakhs imported for prototyping. I think there is a detailed governance structure for the implementation mechanism. I think this is detailed here. So this is This is there in the booklet that has been presented by the government. So that is the last slide. Some of the other concepts, I will maybe as a first step, I'll request Vice Chair to give in a few words. He was there in the morning meeting. Your first thoughts and feedback, sir, as to what you heard this morning.
First of all, I had to apologize for the delay because I was unwell, so I went back home and then came here. Thank you, Chairman. In fact, now the implementation is the key. That's what I strongly believe. Even though they are going to have an industries department, there's a separate cell to take care of MSME issues 24/7, but that should be fully functional without any delay, because that's the need of the hour. There are so many policies which are very interesting, but implementation should be the key. And I was told that even the incentives, they are going to clear up to year 2021. I'm so happy to know that. But why not remaining? Why? Because there's not much money involved if compared with what they are giving to our farmers. So after farmers, I think they should give priority for MSMEs in the state. So we'll push for that again when the minister addresses us, because I think last 9 years incentives are not released, especially for the MSMEs. So that's the issue here. And I think so many incentives are declared. In fact, regarding the land, we have been asking for the land values and all. They have analyzed it so clearly in the policy. I've gone through that. And I think the new MSME pause coming up in between the ORR and RR, triple R is a good, very good initiative by the state government. So I think we all look for a better future, and all the best to all of you. Thank you.
Your feedback from
The policy was quite clearly initiated in the charts, and CII also clarified it. So there's very little to add to that. One thing, couple of things which I really liked was a specific focus on support, extra support to the women entrepreneurs and to the SC/ST categories. So in every aspect there's a certain extra they're giving to attract and hopefully motivate more ladies and more SC/STs to get into. Looking at as a continuing act. To improve and where they can add more value to it. And this I thought was a very good point the minister when he was speaking. There are a couple of other things with the honourable minister, the chief minister said that he would like the farming community to continue as it is in farming, but from each family, except for one or two who remain in the farm, the others should move on and get skilled and get into industry. For that, the need to have more and more MSMEs becomes more critical. So the question is, how do we encourage this? And he expects that this policy will be a big step in encouraging more and more MSMEs to come up, especially the women and the SC/ST policies. Basically, I think they have been open-minded. They have listened to inputs from all of you and from the associations, and they put together a policy that sounds to be very, very good. But as Aris said, the question is, how will they implement it over time? The intention is good. So let us see that they'll implement it. Even on the question of his long pending incentives, the Deputy Chief Minister, who is also Finance Minister, said that he was joking, but he said, yes, we will see how we can pay it off. But I can tell you we cannot pay it you in one installment, but we'll do it in installments. But he also, but he was quite serious that he's going to try and clear the long pending amounts. Thank you.
Thank you, Anupama Garu. Anupama Garu, we were speaking before we got on stage, and you were mentioning that Ivan also had given a series of policy recommendations to the department, and please give us some feedback on what were the recommendations that you gave, and what was announced today, and what else should we still keep working on. The work of policy still continues, right? Please give us your feedback.
Thank you, Chairman. So it is a pleasant wish list that has come true for us. I think what I would start with is the intention of this government to be able to listen to multiple voices, different perspectives from across the academia, the industry bodies, as well as people working with specific MSME segments. So as part of Indian Women Network, close association with CII, we went on ground at the grassroots and tried to understand the various aspects of what's working, what's not working, especially in terms of the women in business. And we have elaborated about two aspects of it. One is women in MSME as workforce and women-led MSMEs. So what's the difference in terms of the challenges that are impacting the grassroots success of both of these sections of population? So I would really praise, advocate the government to verbatim pick some of the statements from the various policy recommendations that we have made. Some of them are specific to the women workforce, women-led MSME leadership. For example, number one is on the provision of the implementation dashboard. So we have requested as a single platform, one window platform where things can happen. The translation of it that has come into the policy is implementation dashboard on an all-in-one portal with insights from different portals of different departments, which is a significant move towards enabling a simpler process, especially where we find women-led MSMEs need support systems to be able to do this part of setup. So while in their address, Honorable Chief Minister and Honorable Minister emphasized on the focus from start to sales, in fact the policy, especially from the women perspective, covers from pre-start to post-sales. And that I really appreciate being brought out in the policy. And from an implementation focus, like Chairman rightly pointed out, is the actual window being made available and how the ease of implementation can be made available. The other thing that has come in very important is we brought out the biases which are everywhere, but specifically in terms of the performance versus potential in assessing women-led MSMEs as a business enterprise by the banks and the government industries, and that impacting the funding capabilities for women-led MSMEs. And there's a beautiful point that has been brought out in terms of a pilot program for women-led MSMEs, where the funding is based on the future sales potential, and that moves heavily towards creating that leeway for removing that bias, and also given the importance of women in shop floor activities, being able to reach up to the next levels in terms of internal skill building, which has been an important point that has been incorporated. As we started out, these are a few points that we made exclusive to the women in business, but there are a few points that we also made agnostic to the gender in terms of creating inclusive and smart MSME businesses. One is having an industrial park focus, because there was a real debate in terms of whether that focus is helpful or not, and we have given enough and more evidences to say that this helps, and that has come out as the strong focus in the policy. The second is similar to how many of the other organized sectors perform, having access to talent pool. It is high time MSMEs also have a talent pool of our own, where we have skills listed, skills pipeline built, and also the pool managed, so that the access to such a talent pool is there. So we we have also given a detail of how that can be implemented on ground, and that point has been beautifully captured in the policy. So I think overall, both from the implementation perspective, there are inputs into the policy, and when we gave the recommendation and initiated the discussion, we have had certain amount of stress on what could go wrong and can be done from an implementation perspective. Hope that captures. Thank you.
Thank you, Anupama Garu. I mean, I think it's important, on one perspective, it's important that the voice of Ivan and the voice of women is that you elucidated that. I think what is more important is that feedback from you, and that's conceptualized, crystal government, and there are no guarantees if government will accept our policy recommendations. When they do, it's a lot of happiness. Whatever they have not accepted, I think the work continues. I think we go back and re-engage with them. So I'm coming to you, Dhanraj Garu. Give us your thoughts on what you saw this morning and heard this morning, and I think what else do you think we should, in the future, again, discuss with the government in terms of policy? Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. All in all, I think it's been industry-friendly policy that's been announced. What I've seen in the past is announcement of a 5-year industrial policy, I think 2015 and 2020. But this is the first time where we are seeing it as an exclusive MSME policy, which is quite heartening to see that. And from our MSME panel, we had given 6 recommendations as a part of the policy advocacy. I'll have to read the full document, understand whether some of them have found place. But what is heartening here out of the policy was the 100 crore technology upgradation funding. But we were specific about R&D being incentivized and funded by state government. But there was a mention by the speakers today that innovation will be encouraged. But we'll have to look at the specifics on that point. On the marketing front, especially for organizations which are looking for facilitation on the export side, there was a specific mention. And here, I think we're going to have platforms like ONDC and, of course, GEM you mentioned. ONDC will be a game changer. As we all know, UPI has been a game changer on the payment side. They're going to launch the B2B platform very soon. So that will give MSMEs a platform to address the market needs globally. And I think, by the way, Hyderabad is going to have the first export facilitation center under Ministry of MSME. Hyderabad will be the national center here. I was expecting an announcement on the incentives for clean and green industries to address the climate crisis. I'll have to see. There was no mention, at least in the presentation today. Not even on the solar energy front. I was expecting some incentives of the policy. Yeah, we had also asked for a separate ministry for the interests of the MSME sector. Yeah, on the ITI's front, I think it's been a great move by the Tatas. Of course, they need to be applauded and complimented for the initiative they've taken. The skill shortage that we all face in the manufacturing sector, I think in maybe 3 or 4 years' time, it should get addressed, and of course by then the skill university will take shape. So it's a first of kind in the country for a skill university to be coming up, and I hope each sector will get addressed, especially where Telangana has got big strengths, aerospace and defense, and the MSMEs, which are in the manufacturing sector. That space will get addressed there, I suppose. Yeah, all in all, it's been been a good policy announcement so far, but as Mr. R.S. Reddy said, we'll have to see whether they walk the talk and how soon this implementation will happen. And the biggest incentive would be the release of all the subsidies, cash incentives which government announces time and again, but it should not be just on paper, because the industry needs funding. It's always in short supply, and land also has been addressed to some extent, but not the way we wanted it. We've been saying that industrial land should cease to be a real estate for the government, and look forward to a long-term lease, if not a 99-year lease as some states have. At least a 33-year lease would definitely help, because we are not going to lock up our capital in the land, and which can be best utilized for your working capital needs. That's something that it will be a work in progress, work in process to prevail on the government, Chairman. Okay? Yeah. Thank you.
What other policy recommendations that we are working on in CII, so that it is not just pertinent to MSMEs but across many sectors. We are working actively on agriculture and value adds to agriculture, as to how we can add value add to farmers' produce, and that cuts across MSME sectors. We are talking about gender balance and gender parity across all our activities. We want growth to happen, as we mentioned, outside of Hyderabad. We want Hyderabad also to grow, but in reality, if our parity between the incomes within in Hyderabad and outside of Hyderabad, we want growth also to happen outside of Hyderabad. And also we feel strongly in CII that the culture and heritage of our state, even though it is as old as any other states, is not very well represented outside of our state. What many of us know, if you talk about culture and heritage of southern part of India, mostly either Tamil Nadu or Karnataka or is spoke about. I think when we reviewed it, there are more than 600 or so heritage structures in and around in Telangana, which are mostly not well kept and they're dilapidated. And as a first step, we have started a program to revitalize them. We've started out with 7 MOUs that's going to be signed in front of the Chief Minister, where corporates are coming with their CSR funds to restore some of these heritage structures and stepwell tanks, heritage structures, so that they can get rebuilt as to how they were earlier. And this would serve as a source of culture and heritage rejuvenation, and also a tourism economy to our state. Because right now we feel that the tourism economy is almost non-existent, or very small, I would say, other than Hyderabad in our state. I think these are the comments that I wanted to also mention that we are working on. And in terms of defense and aerospace, we are discussing with our panel members in the defense and aerospace panel that whether we can potentially recommend for I would say like a mini or a full corridor between Shamshabad and the border, geographical boundary of Telangana, where defense industries can be located, number one. And also there was feedback from our members that they wanted high quality or high end testing and product development centers, which each individual MSME afford to set up within themselves, so that then they can make their products ready for the international markets. I think that's also a recommendation. With that, I would like to throw open the floor to the audience here, if there is any questions or feedback.
Well, very good afternoon, Chairman, Vice Chairman. Mokanal garu, Hema garu, and all the admin members. Then sorry.
Then we have online attendance from Adilabad and Warangal.
So nice to have.
My Telugu is very poor.
No problem. In fact, I volunteered when I was called into the dais. I was there. Some TV guy pulled me out, so I didn't know that it was starting. Sorry for that. Our mentor Anil Lepur garu, Duddilla Tirumala garu, APK, and all my members. I see a lot of non-members of CII as well. ఒక రకంగా మినిస్టర్ గారు ఇప్పుడు రావడం లేట్ అయింది. ఇట్స్ ఏ బ్లెస్సింగ్ ఇన్ డిస్గైజ్ అని చెప్పొచ్చు. మనము కొంచెం ఫ్రీగా మాట్లాడుకోవడానికి అవకాశం దొరికింది. అయితే ఇది ఎట్లా ఉందంటే మనం నార్మల్గా
సిఐ ప్రతి ఏడాది మనం బడ్జెట్ అయిపోగానే ప్రీ బడ్జెట్ ఎట్లాగా ఉంటుంది, ఒక డిస్కోర్స్ ఉంటుంది. పోస్ట్ బడ్జెట్ అది అనాలిసిస్ చేసి ఎట్లా ఉన్నాయి దాంట్లో
ప్రాస్ అండ్ కాన్స్ అన్ని చెప్పుకుంటూ ఉంటాము. అండ్ ఇట్స్
వండర్ఫుల్ ఆపర్చునిటీ టుడే బీయింగ్ దేర్. సమ్ ఆఫ్ us are there while the MSME policy
was launched by the Honorable Chief Minister in presence of our chairman and vice chairman, all the dignitaries and more associations as well. అయితే సాధారణంగా ఇందులో ఒక ఎంకరేజ్ మూమెంట్ చెప్పాలి ఏంటంటే 95-94 నుంచి అనిల్ కుమార్ గారితో పాటు నేను కూడా ఈ అసోసియేషన్స్లో ఉండడం, వేరే వేరే గవర్నమెంట్స్ దాదాపు 10 గవర్నమెంట్స్ మారినాయి కదా 90s నుంచి, ఎర్లీ 90s, లాస్ట్ 30 years to be precise. Almost there are 10 governments. We've been in contact with all the governments in different capacities and from different associations. ఈరోజు చూసింది ఒక సిగ్నిఫికెంట్ చేంజ్ ఏంటంటే, సోదరి అనుపమ చెప్పినట్టు ఒక యాక్సెసిబిలిటీ టు ద గవర్నమెంట్ కొంచెము మనకి బెటర్ అయినట్టు అనిపిస్తుంది డ్యూ రిగార్డ్స్ టు ఆల్ ద ప్రీవియస్ గవర్నమెంట్స్. ఎందుకంటే నేను నాట్ ఓన్లీ ఇన్ సిఐఐ, అదర్ ఫార్మా అసోసియేషన్స్లో కూడా ఉన్నాను నేను. వాళ్ళు మనల్ని అడిగి తీసుకోవడం, ఏంటి మీ ఛాలెంజెస్ ఏంటి, ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఏంటి, అట్లీస్ట్ దెర్ ఇస్ అ హియర్ సంబడి ఈస్ హియరింగ్ యూ యువర్ గ్రీవెన్సెస్, ఇఫ్ నాట్ దే అడ్రస్ దెమ్ ఇన్ ద ఫ్యూచర్. అదొక సిగ్నిఫికెంట్ మూవ్ అని చెప్పాలి. ఇట్లాగా మినిస్టర్ గారు వచ్చినప్పుడు మనం మొత్తం ఇంత ఫ్రీగా మనం ఎట్లాగా మాట్లాడుకోలేము మనం. అయితే వాట్ రియలీ మేడ్ మీ ఇన్స్పైరింగ్ వాస్ ల్యాండ్. ఇక్కడ చాలా మంది ఎంఎస్ఎంఈ, ఇప్పుడు ఎంఎస్ఎంఈ డెఫినేషన్ మారిపోయింది. ఒకప్పుడు 1 crore rupees ల్యాండ్, ఐ డోంట్ నో, క్యాపిటల్ కాస్ట్ 1 crore అండ్ టర్న్ ఓవర్ 10 crores whatsoever. ఇప్పుడు మొత్తం ఆ డెఫినేషన్ మారిపోయింది. ఎంఎస్ఎంఈ 100 crores కూడా స్మాల్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్. మనందరికీ 100 crores ఇండస్ట్రీలు ఉన్నాయి ఇంచుమించుగా, ఎవ్రీబడి హ్యాస్. ఇలాంటి పరిస్థితుల్లో ల్యాండ్ అనేది ఎప్పుడు వాళ్ళు ఏమంటారంటే, గవర్నమెంట్ మీరు ల్యాండ్ తీసుకుంటున్నట్టు చేస్తున్నారని వాళ్ళు అంటారు. మనమేమంటాము, look at all other countries where plug and play, everything is available. Go to any other country. Okay, but the name check, they say 99 years lease. After 99 years, who is going to live? Mana period is 70 years, 50 years. తర్వాత మన వాళ్ళు ఏం చేస్తారు? బట్ యాజ్ గుడ్ యాజ్ ఇట్స్ ఓనింగ్. అక్కడ దాంతో కంపేర్ చేసుకుంటే క్లీన్ అండ్ గ్రీన్ ఎక్కడో రాదు, ఆటోమేటిక్గా వచ్చేస్తుంది, ఆ సెటప్లోనే వచ్చేస్తుంది. నాకు తెలుసు అన్నపూర్ణ స్టూడియోస్ 1 రూపీ ఏకర్ కొన్నప్పుడు భారత్ బయోటెక్ ఎల్లా కృష్ణ గారు అక్కడ అడవిలోకి వెళ్ళి అక్కడ ఏమీ లేకుండా అక్కడ డెవలప్ చేసినప్పుడు అన్ని చాలా మంది మీకు కూడా తెలిసే ఉంటుంది. దే రియల్లీ స్ట్రగుల్డ్ అండ్ రాయిల్డ్. వాళ్ళు చేయబట్టి ఈరోజు ఇట్లా ఉంది. అది ఇండస్ట్రీ సైడ్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఒకటి చెప్పాను, సినిమాకి ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్పాను. చెన్నై నుంచి ఎవడో వచ్చేవారు కాదు, ఆయన ధైర్యం చేసి వచ్చాడు ఆ టైంలో, అక్కడే నాగేశ్వరరావు. అయితే ఇప్పుడు దానికి ఎందుకు రిలేట్ చేస్తున్నానంటే, ఎంఎస్ఎంఈ పాలసీలో ఈరోజు తీసుకున్నది ఏంటంటే, మీకు ఎక్కడైనా బోర్ అనిపిస్తే ఇమీడియట్గా ఆపేయండి, ఐఎమ్ ఫ్రీ టు ఇట్. యాక్చువల్లీ నార్మల్గా కొంచెం ఎండ్లెస్ వెళ్ళిపోతుంది. ఎట్లాగే మినిస్టర్ గారు వచ్చేదాకా కొంచెం మనం మాట్లాడుకుంటూ ఉండాలి. దట్ ఈస్ ఆల్సో యా ఆల్ ద క్వశ్చన్స్ టు ఫ్రమ్. అబ్సల్యూట్లీ వీ నీడ్ టు బి రెడీ. దేర్ ఆర్ 6 challenges మెయిన్ వాళ్ళు తీసుకున్నది పాలసీలో. ఇప్పుడు మినిస్టర్ గారు వచ్చినప్పుడు మనం అడిగేది కూడా అదే. ప్రధానమైనది ల్యాండ్ అవైలబిలిటీ. ఈ రోజు ల్యాండ్ ఎక్కడో చుక్కల్లో రెక్కల్లో ఉన్నాయి. 10-15 సంవత్సరాల క్రితమే మనం ల్యాండ్ కొనుక్కుని ఇండస్ట్రీ పెట్టాలంటే మన ఎవరికి అందుబాటులో లేదు. ఈ రోజు మరీ దారుణంగా ఉంది. దాని గురించి వాళ్ళు కరెక్టే. ఇప్పుడు హైదరాబాద్ శాటిలైట్ ఈ ఏరియాలో ఎక్కువ ఉంది. బికాస్ మనం కూడా సిఐఐ తరఫున కూడా శాటిలైట్ సిటీస్, తర్వాత Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 2, Tier 3లో కూడా ఎంకరేజ్ చేయమని చెప్తున్నారు. ఎవరైనా ఔత్సాహిక పారిశ్రామికవేత్తలు ఉంటే నిజంగా చెప్తున్నాను హోల్ హార్టెడ్గా, విష్ణువర్ధన్తో మాట్లాడొచ్చు మీరు, విష్ణువర్ధన్ రెడ్డి గారు టీఎస్ఐఎస్సి మేనేజింగ్ డైరెక్టర్ ఉన్నారు కదా, ఆయన చెప్తారు. నిజామాబాద్, కరీంనగర్, ఖమ్మం ఇట్లాంటి కొన్ని ఏరియాలకి, వరంగల్ మొన్ననే మన శాసన గారు టీంతో పాటు వెళ్ళొచ్చారు. మనం ధైర్యం చేసి పెట్టగలిగితే మాత్రం డెఫినెట్గా మార్కెట్ ఉంటుంది. కేవలం వాళ్ళు ఇచ్చే ల్యాండ్ వలన కాదు, డెఫినెట్గా వీ హ్యావ్ బిగ్ ఎంకరేజ్మెంట్ దొరుకుతుంది. రా మెటీరియల్, ల్యాండ్, స్కిల్డ్ మ్యాన్ పవర్, తర్వాత మార్కెట్ యాక్సెస్, టెక్నాలజికల్ అడ్వాన్స్మెంట్స్, ఈ ప్రధానంగా ఈ 6 ఫ్యాక్టర్స్ మీదే వర్క్ చేసి ఉన్నారు వాళ్ళు. ఛాలెంజెస్ అని రాసుంటారు బహుశా. ఈ 6 ఫ్యాక్టర్స్లోనే మనకి వాళ్ళు వర్క్ చేస్తున్నారు. వైస్ చైర్ శివప్రసాద్ రెడ్డి గారు చెప్పినట్టుగా ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్ ఎట్లా ఉంటుంది అనేది మనం చూసుకోవాల్సి ఉంటుంది. డెఫినెట్గా వారు మినిస్టర్ గారు పొద్దున్న చెప్పింది ఏంటంటే ఇట్స్ నాట్ ద ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్. ఇది పాలసీ డిక్లేర్ చేశారు, కన్స్ట్రక్టివ్ ఐడియాస్ వస్తే కనుక వాళ్ళు ఇంక్లూడ్ చేయడానికి మేము రెడీగా ఉన్నామని చెప్పి ఆనరబుల్ చీఫ్ మినిస్టర్ చెప్పారు, సాయి ప్రసాద్ గారికి మినిస్టర్ గారు కూడా చెప్పారు. కాబట్టి ఇట్స్ ఎ బిగ్ ఆపర్చునిటీ ఫర్ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ అస్. ఒక స్పెసిఫిక్ ఇష్యూస్ ఉన్న స్పెసిఫిక్ ఏరియాస్లో మన గ్రీవెన్సెస్ ఉన్నా సరే మనం అవి ప్రిపేర్ చేసుకొని మనం మాట్లాడడానికి మనకి చాలా అవకాశం ఉంది. ఐ కెన్ సే ఇట్స్ ఏ గవర్నమెంట్ వాట్ వీ హ్యావ్ టుడే. ప్రోగ్రెసివ్ అనేది బిగ్ స్టేట్మెంట్, బట్ డెఫినెట్లీ హియర్ ఈస్ ఎ గవర్నమెంట్ హూ హెస్ ఎన్ ఇయర్ టు యూ, టు ఆల్ ఆఫ్ అస్. ఇంకొకటి లాస్ట్ ఒకటి చెప్పి ముగిస్తాను. ఇక్కడ thank you for all of you for registering and coming to this. I think more than half of the people are not non-CII. CII మెంబర్షిప్ ఎంత ఉపయోగం ఉంటుందో మీకు తెలీదు. అంటే నేను కూడా ఒకప్పుడు ఎందుకు CII మెంబర్షిప్ తీసుకోవడం, ఇన్ని మెంబర్షిప్లు ఉన్నాయి కదా అన్ని అసోసియేషన్లు అనుకుంటూ ఉండేవాడిని. ఇందులో ఉన్న పొజిషనింగ్, ఇందులో ఉన్న రెస్పెక్ట్ మీకు ఎక్కడ దొరకదు. సో ఐ స్ట్రాంగ్లీ ఎంకరేజ్ you all to become CII members. End of the day, I want at least 10 of you to sign off membership here formally. Sami, Daniel and all, Prajita garu vallandaru untaru. I think I sincerely advise to all of you to become a part of a CII official, even though we are open to all the industries. Thank you very much, Chairman, for that.
For all of us, because many of the small companies, we don't need a separate land, separate construction and all. This with PPP, they are planning to construct. It's like in the city of Mumbai, there are so many flatted factories which are vertically available. So this is a very good concept, and this they want to have it with the PPP model. Which I think I welcome this. Why? Because many of the smaller companies, they don't need a separate shed, separate plot, separate security, all this. We can avoid all this for a small company, because they can go for a vertically. Is one thing. And one more which I miss, I think Anupama missed is, in each assembly constituency, they want to have a small-scale flatted factories, especially for women entrepreneurs. It's also a welcome. Why? Because this is a ready-made facility which is available for them to start their business instead of looking for land and all, because there's a long process. And they're also offering the credit, on some rebate on this for women entrepreneurs. And one more is allowing leasing of industrial land. What my done was, this is, they said within 6 months they are going to have launched this policy in consultation with the stakeholders. This is lease basis is for a period of 30 years, and which is extendable based on the requirement. I think it's a good move, because Dhanraj is always complaining that my project cost, half the cost will go to the land, then how can I do business?
Everybody's complaint. 35% goes to the land. And 75% if I invest, why should I invest? I put it in my bank and get money. I don't want to run my company also.
Yes, sir.
Invest running company also.
Yeah, that's
Invest 5 crores in the land itself for the 2000 square meters, something like that. Then better I put it in my bank, I'll get interest. I lose interest in working, to encourage industries also.
yeah, very true, sir.
So, the 33 years lease is very good. It's a good concept and it has to be implemented. And today also there are new industrial parks are being developed out near outer ORR, but they are still offering 2 acres, 3 acres, but not 2,000, 1,500, 2,500 square meters, which is very helpful for the micro and small. A micro and small doesn't require 2 acres, 3 acres land, to be frank I'm telling, but still government again selling 2 acres, 3 acres. That is one thing. Second thing I would like to say is, this is a TS iPass online booking is there, but it is every time if I open, everything is booked. It is, doesn't say there is no vacant. But really there is no government here. I am speaking to be frankly, fair and frank. It is available, sir, and we have to pay something and we have to get it allotted. Only influenced people are getting, and poor is not able to run an industry. Only a rich is becoming a richer, poor is becoming poor. It is a fact. It is a fact. Government says again, poor ka vote hota hai, poor ka. Poor is, they are not showing anything at all towards the poor actually. So poor is not able to run it. They have a beautiful knowledge. He's maybe IITian. He's having good knowledge, but he cannot go pillar to pillar. Put the industry. There are more things. So 2 things. Third thing, sir, one more thing I want to say is when you are auctioning the plot, if it is there, a ballot labba laga dijiye. How many people ask for this so and so plot? वो चिट्ठी लगा दी. हैदराबाद पब्लिक स्कूल में कैसा होता है ना, सीट होना बोलते हो, उसमें से एक नाम लिखो, किसको आया उसको दे देगा प्लॉट.
It's not auction.
It's a very not auction. See, it is not auction. If it is a demand, there is auction. If there is only one plot in Jidimatla, then you can auction it. If you outskirts, if you are putting it, put it in the box, write your name, open transparency, group में लगाओ, निकालो किसको आया वो ले लेगा. That's the third point. I have to correct it now. Third point. Somebody can do. If I get it one more point, I'll discuss.
The minister is on his way now. He should be here within 5 to 10 minutes. So please, if you have any thoughts, any suggestions, just note it down so that you can save time when he's here. And if you have any discussions to make before he comes, please do it. Any thoughts?
Hello. Yeah. Good evening, one and all. I think I should compliment the government for coming up with such a wonderful policy. At least on paper, it looks very nice and tidy. So, my submission before I talk about 2 points I have submission regarding. I'll speak about my company. I am from Chalk. It's a digital vernacular platform we have created for all the blue collar workers, especially for the labor industry, where we wanted to uplift the quality of life of all these people and their families as well. Because while we are talking about these people, we only talk about only their jobs, subtle jobs, skilling in jobs. But we also want to go beyond it by offering health related and financial related services to them. That's about my company. Coming to the question that I have, I think as rightly pointed by Anupama, a talent pool has to be created. So for which I see one of the biggest challenges what I've seen is, at least I have visited a handful of skill development centers. While they want to build universities, there are many development centers which are seriously in a very pathetic state. Actually no one derives any motivation for it. Not a government, I walked into it, kids studying there, they're least interested. So in what way we are encouraging people to go and attend these vocational courses, ITA courses and other courses. So I think while we are investing for the new infrastructure, we should also take care of the existing infrastructure, which actually motivates all the students, all these youngsters to learn these new things. So I would request the government if we can also do something on that aspect. Second aspect is regarding the health. While we are talking about the jobs and employment of the labor, right, we are not worried much about the health of those. So is there any age limit versus the weight limit? Because maybe they may not be child laborers, they are a lot of child laborers irrespective of what a person may have a certain health, a woman, men, whatever it is. Are we taking care of their health? They're lifting a lot of loads. Is there any policy that defines that this kind of person, this age person with so much weight can weigh only so much of thing? They've been taking a lot of loads and ill health actually, it's resulting in ill health. So is there something revolving this? What my second submission is. So with this I'll limit it. Thank you.
A small point, sir. See, when we are talking about industry development, it always.
Just one. Can you note this down, whatever he has mentioned, very crisply, so when the minister comes, you can ask him that. Same thing with you. Make it very crisp.
When it comes to industry is concerned, then always we go outside the city and try to develop that industrial areas. But what we will forget to do that is, like earlier auto nagas, if you know it, there is a community for living complexes for the workers and all, on a subsidized basis or whatever it is. The industries used to buy that and give it to the workers to live there. So otherwise what happens is, if you say you develop an industrial city near to the carnival or here and there, so the housing and that automatically the real estate goes up and that becomes a very big challenge. So government should also think of a kind of a subsidized housing or something along with the industry estates attached to it. So that the ecosystem will develop, we'll get walk-to-work concept and all. Otherwise, people have to travel from Hyderabad to that.
The government is thinking about that. They're talking about dormitories and talking about accommodation in those industrial states.
That's it. And infrastructure for the commute also should be looked at it.
It's already there in the policy. It is there in the policy. The industrial section is there.
Afterwards,
yeah. So, I'm Ranjan sir. I'm an independent supply chain consultant. I've gone through the entire policy. It is a very nice policy actually. And the beauty of this policy is there is no time frame. That is, it is not a static. It is a dynamic. So it will be changing according to the feedback from the stakeholders. That's one thing. Second is one of the missing element is the focus on the cluster. Okay, suppose in aerospace, some district can be divided into aerospace, some may be pharma, some may be food processing, so that they will be focusing on particular area, so that the cluster approach will be the better way to create a ecosystem in the particular districts. Those, suppose, for example, if you see the Khammam, they are famous for the food. Nizamabad is for food industry. Similarly, the Karimnagar. So something like we have some more exercise is required. The one thing.
The government has thought about that. They have come up to each district, as you mentioned. What are the strong parts of district? And their assumption is that industries coming up there will be in that sector.
Yeah, another second thing is the internship opportunity, because the existing manpower may be going to retire, maybe another 10 years, but the focusing on internship where the industry can be collaborated with the universities, that was the missing element in this policy. The second one, one of the important is the industrial clusters and industrial development townships. They have mentioned it is a good thing. And it is already started by Tamil Nadu government for Foxconn. So they created the ecosystem for the hostel and other facility for the women employees particularly. So that is a welcome thing. And the other one is a clean energy. Those are investing in clean energy. One of the saris point out that was missing. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I'm Kavita Rajesh, former president of Hyderabad Management Association. Also, I'm representing ALEAP and also president ABWCI, Association of Businesswomen in Commerce and Industry. It's the largest platform, virtual platform. So I have 2 points to cover here. One is from women aspect of it, because representing the policy on to SHGs to SMEs, we also need to create an incubation facilities to convert them to the MSME sectors also. So this is one where the focus area should be. And secondly is the protection of the SMEs is much required from the national brands and all. If a national brand comes and puts a case on to the small entrepreneurs, they cannot fight with the national brands. 2 laptops look alike. So just like a look-alike case and all, these kind of redressal mechanisms for SMEs is much required to go ahead with, which I felt that I should. Sir?
ONDC platform will address that.
ONDC.
And also there is one point about SHGs and
Yes.
training women from SHGs to be able to move them to cottage industries and then upwards into the ecosystem.
Yes. So we need to have that ecosystem in place. So create the incubation facilities and also probably a lead which would look at collaborations also. Thank you.
Sir, I am from Electronics Corporation of India Limited. As a PSU, we have been given some target from public procurement policy for MSME with 25% procurement from MSEs and 4% and 3%, where we are always facing problem in achieving 4% and 3% target. So how the state new policy is going to help us in achieving this target, first point. Second thing is, since this is related to MSCs, now when the industry has migrated to medium, from micro and small he has been migrated to medium. So how does it distinguish their performance, and then how we cannot consider them under the public procurement preference. So there is a gap, a lot of gap exists. We are unable, we need to check their documents and to what classification it belongs to, whether it is small, whether it is medium. They are able to give some certificate, they give some old certificates. So these all things create a lot of delay in execution of work and confusions also. So how this state policy, like if they have some centralized website or some database available which is getting updated every time, then we get a real-time data of those things and how we can improve this procurement. That is the concern we are facing as an organization. Thank you, sir.
You were there in the morning session, the lunch? No. So there was a mention by the minister on public procurement process being improvised. Yeah. So I think that's on the anvil. We'll have to look at the fine print if there can be certain concessions given in the public procurement. I mean, it's almost akin to what GEM is for the PSUs. We could have something like that for the state government.
I'd like to know if there is any inspection department. Hello, good evening everybody. I'm Shruti, founder of Mishta Organics. I am working on Desi cows, which are the protector of universe. There's a project on zero budget living. And I've been traveling as a startup from 2 years, and I've been facing a lot of difficulties, not able to establish my startup till now. I personally bootstrapped for 50 lakhs till now, but I'm not getting support from anybody, but I'm very happy in this journey. So what I want to ask is, like, is there any inspection department for MSMEs? If all the MSMEs are correctly working, so all the funds are utilized properly or not? Because as the sir has said, rich are getting richer and poor are getting poorer. So how far the funds are utilized? All the self-help groups are taking the funds, and are they utilized properly or not? This is the example of self-help groups. And all the people also in all the departments, I've been traveling with the police department, municipal offices, all the fields I have seen till now. Even the incubation centers, they are taking funds, but they're not working properly. So I want to establish my own incubation center now. So, like, I have got the experience that I will establish my own government also. So I want to ask this question, can you handhold me and take my startup with you? That's all. Thank you.
So yes, there has been an initiative with WeHub, expanding the focus and work of WeHub to handhold much wider business scopes compared to the earlier years. So we have been in a meeting, closed door meetings, where the government was with WeHub talking about this expansion. And specific to your point about various departments and various ways of interacting and having that ease in doing your business and setup, we have heard firsthand that is the focus where the current WeHub will take forward. So if you are not yet connected, we can help you connect. If you are already connected, I'm sure they're working on their plan to implement what has been given as directive, and that will be something you can see in future.
I'm Dr. Suresh, and representing Kapiti Group as a Managing Director. My question is related to the red zone allocations. The transparency in the red zone allocations, that is one thing. Second, this policy is reflecting the encouragement of recycling. Because some of the people, due to lack of awareness, this recycling is viewing as a emission and again related some pollutant generation. But if we don't encourage the recycle, then how the virgin related production will hamper the climate. So I would like to put these 2 points to the table. Thank you.
Very good points. Didn't come up at all in this morning session. So a good point. You can raise it up with how do you encourage recycling and reuse, and along with the point made by my colleague here about green energy and environmental ESG goals. So that can be certainly talked about. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Raju. Is there any appraisal for the heads of this CII industry ministry? Because if there is no proper progress, can we remove them? Yes. ఎందుకు ఇలా అడుగుతున్నానంటే గుజరాతీ ఫ్రెండ్ ఒకడు నిన్న కలిసాడు నన్ను. వాడు అంటున్నాడు, మీ సౌత్ వాళ్ళకి ఉద్యోగాలు చేయడం తప్ప వ్యాపారాలు చేయడం తెలియదు బాబు, మాకు గుజరాతీస్కి బాగా తెలుసు అది. అంటే నిజంగా మనకు తెలియదేమో అనుకుంటున్నాను నేను. అందుకే పనిచేయని వాళ్ళని ఉంచొద్దు, తీసేయండి.
Recycle, you are saying, no, is a good topic. Extended producer responsibility (EPR). It has come into the force since after the ban of single-use plastic. State government is asking all the recyclers to go out of ORR and do recycling. And what I request is to the government is now the plastic recycling is being sold at 10 rupees per kilo. I request, actually it is the market price is 50 to 60 rupees kg. It is not 10 rupees. 40 rupees is cash, and for 50 rupees cash, 10 rupees is the official money is being circulated actually. One thing, let me complete. So it is a very interesting point, I am trying to talk to you. This should be actually, government should encourage, give power subsidy the next month. The GST subsidy next month itself for the recycler. How to encourage the recycling? We are all talking about the green. See how you become a green. First, you cannot ban everything. No, you have to do recycling first. Recycling is very important. Recycling can be encouraged only by giving the benefits to the recycler. Then the recycling will not be done.
I think before the minister comes, whatever queries we have for the minister, let's ask a very pointed question. Engaging him with
no, there is no minister. That's what I'm speaking.
No, that's fine. But we could have a pointed question once the minister is here. And so that everyone has a chance to ask specific queries. Okay.
So I just want to value add to what he said now. See, the statutory requirements for recycling also, it is not that easy to get in case you want to get into the recycling and all. So that compliances also, if you make it easy, there will be more of economic drive on the circular economy. So this is when at ELIP also many come for us for recycling and all. Once they go to the PCB or any other department, it is not that easy for the statutory registrations.
Complaints, but
Compliance part of it. It's not easy.
the complaints has to be simplified.
Simplified, absolutely.
Any thoughts?
Yes, I just have something to say to my colleague. Somebody said that Gujarat, somebody said that they know the business and we don't know that. If you look at the policy and the 11th page of the policy of today, they are given as statistics. From 2020 to 2023, the MSMEs have been closed in top 6 states. Telangana is only 231 MSMEs closed, whereas Maharashtra has closed 5,000 MSMEs and Gujarat is closed 1,650 MSMEs. See, it is only, what is that, where we go and kaha hamara tali bajata hai, matlab drums bajata hai. We were less known, how do we drum ourselves elsewhere. So this is rightly put up. You see, Telangana is only 231, so that we are sustained even that hard times without knowing much. And when it comes to that solar thing, there was small request, there were many states have come up with a policy that we can generate our own power elsewhere. And by paying the transportation or the line charges, we can use it in our industry. See, because having same kind of a capital generation in our own industry may be expensive. So that if they can facilitate across the state, Andhra did it for within the discoms, but if they can do it across the state, we can go to some other place, generate our own power, so that it becomes more greener and more viable to the industry also. That point you can just take it.
The government is thinking about that. The minister has arrived. He's here in the premises. He'll be here shortly. So, please make whatever comments you have made, please make a very crisp. They can ask you.
Coming to your query about the circular economy, Pollution Control Board should not have any problem, because once it's 100% recycle and it's not polluting, okay, you may be doing plastic waste recycling, but if you do 100% of that, whatever residue that you get is going again to generate electricity or going into the char for carbon black industry. Okay.
We also have the best practices from Singapore line.
भैया अच्छे से बैग दास भाई बैग अच्छे
अरे
स्पीकर
फोटोग्राफर
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. All our attendees today at the CII Godrej Green Business Center, and also the participants from Warangal and also from Adilabad. Thank you very much for joining us today. It's a honor and a pleasure for us to have the Honorable Minister for IT and Industries, Sridhar Babu with us. He's had a busy day. He's been in since morning, I think since 8 o'clock or 8:30. He's been busy this morning. And I was even hesitating to request him to come for this meeting because it's very late. But I think he is very humble and he accepted that. I told him there is a lot of members here and a lot of MSME companies here that would love to listen to him and also interact with him. I think before you came, sir, we had a very good interactive session here. We went through all the policy recommendations by the state government, and there was also some feedback and discussions back and forth, so I don't wish to do any of that. I would just request you to say a few words, and with the next steps, I will request people in the audience and our participants from Warangal and Adilabad, if they have any questions or feedback, they could communicate with us. It's more of an interactive session, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sai Prasad Garu. I have been joined by our Commissioner Industries, Mansoor ji, అదేవిధంగా రెడ్డి గారికి, సైమద్దీన్ గారికి, పెద్దలందరికీ, MSMEకి సంబంధించి ఇక్కడికి వచ్చేసిన పెద్దలకి,
అటు ఆదిలాబాద్, వరంగల్, ఖమ్మం జిల్లాలో ఆన్లైన్లో పార్టిసిపేట్ చేస్తూ ఉన్న పారిశ్రామికవేత్తలందరికీ, పాత్రికేయ మిత్రులందరికీ నమస్కారం. ఈరోజు ముఖ్యమంత్రి గారి చేతుల మీదుగా మొట్టమొదటిసారి MSME పాలసీ ఆవిష్కరణ చేయటం జరిగింది. దాంట్లో ప్రధానమైన ఉద్దేశాలు మరి సాయి ప్రసాద్ గారు అదేవిధంగా పెద్దలందరూ కూడా మీతోని చర్చించడం, చాలా సులువుగా మీ MSMEకి సంబంధించిన అంశాలను రాష్ట్ర ప్రభుత్వం తరఫున ఇప్పుడే మేము మరి శేఖర్ రెడ్డి గారు మేము డిస్కస్ చేస్తూ ఉంటాం. బ్యాంకింగ్కి సంబంధించిన అనేక అంశాలు ఉంటాయి. స్మోక్ షాప్, చిన్న మధ్యతరగతికి సంబంధించిన పరిశ్రమలకు మా ఉద్దేశం ఏంటంటే, మొదటగా MSME పాలసీ ఫ్రేమ్ చేస్తూ ఉన్న సందర్భంలో నేను మా స్పెషల్ CS కమిషనర్ గారు ఈ అసోసియేషన్కి సంబంధించిన చాలామంది మాట్లాడుతూ ఉన్నాడు. ప్రధానమైన సమస్య ఇది క్యాపిటల్కి వచ్చే సమస్య. క్యాపిటల్ మూలధనం మొత్తం పూర్తి స్థాయిలో రేపొద్దున TGIC ల్యాండ్ ఇస్తే దాన్ని కట్టడానికి కానీ, వర్కింగ్ క్యాపిటల్ లేకుండా, లేకుంటే ప్రొడక్షన్ కావాల్సిన ఖర్చులు లేకుండా ఇబ్బంది పడుతూ ఉన్న తరుణం చాలా మంది MSME సంబంధించిన పారిశ్రామిక ప్రధానంగా వారు పేర్కొనడం జరిగింది. సో మేము ఇప్పుడు ఫ్లాట్ ఇండస్ట్రియల్ పార్క్స్ ఈరోజు కేంద్ర ప్రభుత్వం ప్రవేశపెట్టిన స్కీమ్లు కూడా పెద్ద ఎత్తున తీసుకొస్తా ఉన్నాం. ల్యాండ్ కేటాయింపు కూడా, భూమి కేటాయింపు కూడా లీజ్ బేస్డ్ చేయటం వల్ల పెద్దగా క్యాపిటల్ భారం పడకుండా ఉండాలనే ఒక ప్రధానమైన ఉద్దేశం. దాని క్రమంలోనే నేను ప్రధానంగా 6 అంశాలను కూడా ప్రభుత్వ పరంగా ఈరోజు కొత్త పాలసీ విధానంలో పెట్టాం. పెద్ద ఎత్తున ముందుకు తీసుకెళ్లే ప్రయత్నంలో ప్రభుత్వం లక్ష్యం కూడా ఏంటంటే, MSMEs can only create employment in a big way. That we strongly believe in, one. And second thing is, we have to encourage MSMEs all through. For example, if I say I didn't tell about that, మేము ప్రభుత్వ పరంగా ఎన్ని ఉద్యోగాలు సృష్టించినా 2 లక్షల పైచిలకు ఉద్యోగాల కంటే ఎక్కువ ఉద్యోగాలు కల్పన చేయలేము. ఇప్పటివరకే మన తెలంగాణలో దాదాపు 20 నుంచి 25 లక్షల మంది నిరుద్యోగ యువకులు ఉంటారు. వారికున్న పొటెన్షియల్ని ప్రొడక్టివ్ వేలో ఏ విధంగా ఉపయోగించుకోవాలి, ఈరోజు కాటేజ్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్ ద్వారా, లేకుంటే చిన్న పరిశ్రమలు వారి పరంగా ఏర్పాటు చేయడంలో, లేకుంటే వారికి ఏదైనా ప్రొడక్షన్ కెపాసిటీ ఉండి ప్రోడక్ట్ని వారి కనిపెట్టడమో, లేకుంటే టెక్నాలజీ ఉపయోగించుకొని డిమాండ్కి అనుగుణంగా వారు తయారు చేసే వారు గుర్తించి ఈజీగా ప్రభుత్వ పరంగా సులువుగా పర్మిషన్లు రావటం ఒకటి, భూమిలో లీజ్ ల్యాండ్ దొరకడం ఇంకోటి, బ్యాంక్ లోన్స్ పరంగా కూడా ఎక్కడ కొల్లెటరల్ లేకుండా, ఈరోజు చాలా సందర్భాల్లో ₹1,00,000 కూడా బ్యాంక్స్, మేము కూడా చూస్తూ ఉంటాం ప్రాక్టికల్గా కూడా, ₹1,00,000 కేంద్ర రాష్ట్ర ప్రభుత్వాలు ప్రవేశపెట్టే సంక్షేమ పథకాలకు సంబంధించి లోన్ సంబంధించి బ్యాంకర్ దగ్గర పోతే కొల్లెటరల్ అడుగుతారు టు గెట్ their loan secured. So that is not an intention by either by the central government or by the state government. So we have recently in one meeting have been requesting our counterpart, Honorable Minister at the Union, that this has to be tackled. Just now, when my commissioner was also sent, telling that recently central government is coming up with a policy. వారికి ఇచ్చే క్రెడిట్కి సంబంధించి గ్యారంటీ ఇచ్చే పాలసీ పథకాన్ని 5 crores వరకు MSMEకి ఇచ్చే కార్యక్రమం చేయబోతున్నారని. ప్రాక్టికల్గా అదైతే అనేక మంది, ఏ ఇండస్ట్రీ అయినా it all depends upon so many factors we all appreciate. It's not only that if you have expertise, So we'll take it, but 60 to 70% if they survive, that will propel economy to the big level, to a high level. We can't guarantee 100% success anywhere. At least 60 to 70% if these MSMEs literally become successful, we can scale up to the next level. And definitely we have set a vision, a dream of 1 trillion economy. We know it's very, very hard to achieve. As told by Sai Prasad Garu, from this level to that level. No, it's required lots of concentration. But although it may sense ambitious, నేను మన ఇప్పుడు గారు చెప్తా ఉంటుంది. Now a time has come now. The technology is going, the software. Now if we are all running, all other states are running, it is jogging and running. Now I have to take a leap, I have to do a long jump. Where exactly I can do the long jump? So now the stage is set and the world is AI into each and every field. So if the state of Telangana can take a lead in that, we can be the leaders in the globe. That's where we can try to impress upon the global demand that everything they need in terms of AI should be here. That's the real reason we are going for AI city. And I'm also planning, actually yesterday night when I had come down from my home district, I was sitting with some few technocrats. How should we take about? Grand, vision of our government has been unveiled on that day's Global AI Convention. If I don't take the next step, you'll all criticize us and tomorrow we can't move forward. So I was just thinking of opening AI hubs, 20-seater or 30-seater in the main circles, especially in Hyderabad where you have the talent. Anybody who would like to know about anything with a faster space, how AI will be useful for them, for students, for technocrats, or for people who are involved in construction. These AI hubs can sensitize them. So I'm just in the very, very formative stage. So I'm just thinking about it. So how do we take it about? How do we take it for a long future? So this is where I would take a leap. The MSME is a big platform. So I would like to say the few better examples. You people are better judges. So 1 or 2 states are doing exemplary in MSMEs because they have the skill set required. And Tamil Nadu as such, if you see, shop floor technical staff, most of them, I heard, is 60% are women who work there. Women participation too high. So in that angle, I told Commissioner and the Special CS to look into the best examples of them. We were trying to include that. And Indra Mahila Shakti, that's where we will try to, do some capacity building for the women entrepreneurs. And we are planning definitely from my side and from the industry. I will be planning for 119 industrial estates only for the mini industrial estates for the women. So many may think, it may be ambitious, but let's start somewhere. If I start 60% become successful, then we can scale it up to next level. So this is our vision and things what we would like to do. And I invite all the people who have great experience in all MSMEs into their production lines, into their marketing things. And after, this launch of our new policy, I request my partners over here who have few questions or few suggestions where we can literally take it up. We will embrace it very, very positively, whatever you say, and we will try to imbibe in our policy implementation. Now that the policy is in our hands, if there is anything more to be done in implementation, we will take it to very seriously and try to do it. Thank especially CII Telangana for keeping a discussion on this future of MSMEs in Telangana. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to throw open the floor for any questions. Yeah, please.
Good evening, sir. My name is ABS Reddy. I represent Deputy Technologies Private Limited. We're into healthcare and as well as the equipment manufacturing. I really appreciate the initiative that you've taken it in a very short run of time. Government వచ్చిన కూడా చాలా తక్కువ టైంలో మీరు ఇంత మంచి ప్రోగ్రామ్ స్టార్ట్ చేశారు. So it indicates that we all get a good positive note that yes, you are for the industry growth of the MSME particularly. So today, you have just, I have not gone through the complete the report that you have been given by Honorable Minister and yourself, sir. So what basically we have been facing as an MSME company for the last many years, the major thing is more than finance, skilled manpower. As you rightly said, some of the states excel, Tamil Nadu or something like that. This is something which we need to pay an attention on the skilled manpower at different levels, and we need to do any amount of the efforts for overcoming of this problem. All of us probably see right from the not only in Telangana, everywhere that we have a problem. Particularly the MSMEs are facing a big problem. So we don't have a dependable labor today. We don't have a skilled man set today. That's a major problem that we've been facing it here. And second thing is I appreciate that the modernization of the technology that you announced today. It's really an essential because the technology which we had 10 years ago is definitely outdated when compared with the whole world which is running. As you said, we have to jump, we have to just jog to catch up the development of the China, Korea, or Thailand, or the probably Indonesia. So we should take some of the countries like Indonesia, Vietnam. In the recent past, they excel very well. In fact, after the COVID, these two countries have excelled very well, sir. So we should take some of the the examples and benchmark of this thing. And I also just wanted to just give an opportunity for the industry MSMEs to give us supporters to expose ourselves in the international market. Because apart from the technology, that we don't have much of skills in development of the presentation of our product, a presentation of our companies like. So if you just take Chinese or Taiwanese companies or the Indonesian companies, which has a good exposure to the international market. So we actually should participate in the international exhibitions. And as a Telangana pavilion, most of the niche, the cluster markets, we should participate in those things. So these are the few points I want to make.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I have another question I'll take a series of questions, sir. Then you can, based on you or Malsoor Garu, can give a feedback. I have Mr. Sanjeev Deshpande online, I believe, from Adilabad. He manages NTT data, sir. Yeah, they have an Adilabad. Sanjeev, go ahead, please.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Garu. It's a pleasure to talk to Minister Garu. It's a fantastic day. So far, while we have not gone through the details of the MSME, but my CII colleagues did really compliment the policy in more than one way. With me, while I just stepped out, but with me in Adilabad, we have the representatives of agricultural industry, food processing, ginning, oil mill, IT, and the bioenergy. And everybody's excited to really get to know details of the MSME, but in general the industry friendliness of the government is very encouraging, and we are all looking forward, Minister Garu, to invite you to Adilabad as part of CII Adilabad, which is the affiliation with CII Telangana. And so we really look forward to, along with our chairman and the vice chairman, would like to host you in Adilabad. There are some very specific issues because being a border district of Maharashtra, given the policy differences, the tax incentive differences, there are certain challenges that the industry in Adilabad are facing for the last few years. We really would like to provide you with some information so that you are aware of the local conditions there and also help the MSMEs in a much better way. I really appreciate once again the opportunity, and thank you for addressing the CII Adilabad, Mr. Garu. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjeev. Next we have from the Warangal Chamber of Commerce, sir. Sir. Chappan, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I am General Secretary Vedapragad.
ఇక్కడ సార్ ఉన్నారు సార్, ఈ సార్ మాట్లాడతారు. రవీంద్ర రెడ్డి గారు ఉన్నారు, ఆయన మాట్లాడాక మీరు చెప్పండి సార్.
హలో సార్, గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్ సార్. ఈరోజు పాలసీ అనౌన్స్ చేసిన దాన్ని మార్నింగ్ మీ సెషన్లోనే ఉన్నాం సార్. థ్యాంక్ యూ, చాలా బాగా ఉంది సార్. పాలసీలో కూడా మీరు తీసుకొచ్చిన అన్ని
చూస్తే బాగున్నది. అలాగే స్కిల్ యూనివర్సిటీ అనేది, అలాగే టాటా వాళ్ళతోటి ఐటీ పాలిటెక్నిక్ అనే దాంట్లో కూడా వాళ్ళను అంటే స్కిల్ డెవలప్మెంట్ చేసడానికి తీసుకొచ్చింది సార్. మనకంటే ఒక 20-25 ఇయర్స్ ముందు నుంచి వెళ్ళి తమిళనాడు, మహారాష్ట్ర ఉన్నాయి సార్. స్మాల్ స్కేల్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్లో కూడా ఇవాళ 20-25,000 30,000 అక్కడి నుంచి వెళ్ళి వాళ్ళ పేమెంట్ చేసి ఇవ్వడం జరుగుతున్నది. మనకి ఇక్కడ లేరు. మీరు ఇది తీసుకొచ్చిన 2-3 ఇయర్స్ లోపల మన దగ్గర చాలామంది పిల్లలు చదువుకొని ఇంజనీరింగు, ఫార్మా అన్నిట్లలో ఉన్నారు సార్. ఇది తప్పనిసరిగా మన రాష్ట్రానికి, రాష్ట్ర అభివృద్ధిలో కూడా ఉపయోగపడుతుంది. ఇది మీరు రేవంత్ రెడ్డి గారు, ముఖ్యమంత్రి గారు, మీరు స్థిరస్థాయిగా ఇదైతే భవిష్యత్ తరాల లోపల మీరు స్థిరస్థాయిగా ఒక వైఎస్ రాజశేఖర రెడ్డి గారు ఎట్లయితే ఫోకస్గా ఉన్నారో మీరు కూడా అట్లా నిల్చుంటారని మేము భావిస్తున్నాం సార్. అలాగే నేను కాటన్ స్టేట్ ప్రెసిడెంట్గా ఉన్నా సార్. గతంలో కూడా తమరికి విన్నవించడం మా ఇన్సెంటివ్స్ అవి చాలా పెండింగ్ ఉన్నాయి సార్. అలాగే ఎలక్ట్రిసిటీ ఆర్ఎన్సీ మెజర్మెంట్స్ గత ప్రభుత్వంలో కూడా వేసినాయి. అవి పెనాల్టీస్ అప్పుడు కొత్తగా తెలంగాణ ఏర్పడిన తర్వాత మరి ప్రామిస్ చేసిన ముఖ్యమంత్రి గారు ఇట్లనే ఇండస్ట్రీస్ పాలసీ పెట్టినప్పుడు అవి తీసేస్తామని అన్నారు. కానీ అది కంటిన్యూ ఉన్నాయి సార్. దాంట్లో ఒక 20 ఇండస్ట్రీస్ వరకు సిక్ అయినప్పుడు వాళ్ళకి 20-25 లక్షలు అయితే వాళ్ళు కంపల్సరీ అవి కట్టవలసి వచ్చింది, కట్టి క్లోజ్ చేయవలసి వచ్చింది. ఇప్పుడున్న ఇండస్ట్రీస్లో కూడా ఉన్నాయి. దయచేసి దాన్ని గవర్నమెంట్ ప్రామిస్ చేసింది సార్. ముఖ్యమంత్రి గారు కూడా పొద్దున చెప్పారు, గతంలో కూడా ఏ గవర్నమెంట్ అయినా ఉండని ఆ పాలసీస్ని కంటిన్యూషన్ చేస్తున్నారు, దయచేసి దాన్ని చేయాలనేది ఒకటి సార్. ఇంకొకటి ఏంటంటే అగ్రికల్చర్ సంబంధించిన ఇండస్ట్రీస్, రైస్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్కు మీరు 150 HP వరకు ఎల్టీ దాని కిందనే ఉంచింది సార్. దీంట్లో ఇప్పుడు మేము కాటన్లో కానీ ఇంకా వేరే స్పైస్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్ కానీ అదర్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్ లోపల మనం టెక్నాలజీ అప్గ్రేడ్ ఆటోమేషన్ చేసినప్పుడు కొంచెం దాన్ని HP పెంచుకోవడానికి అవకాశం ఉంటున్నది. 100 HP దాటితే అది HT కిందే పోతే అది కొంచెం మంత్లీ వైజ్గా కట్టుడు చాలా ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది సార్. దాన్ని 150 వరకు చేస్తే అగ్రో బేసిక్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్కు అదర్ చుట్టూ మనకు ఆంధ్ర కానీ మహారాష్ట్రలో కూడా ఉన్నది సార్. అగ్రో బేసిక్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్కు 2 రూపీస్ సబ్సిడీ ఉన్నది సార్. అది కూడా ఏదన్నా రాబోయే రోజులల్లో, ఎందుకంటే ఎకానమీ అర్థం చేసుకుంటాం సార్, రాబోయే రోజులల్లో ఇండస్ట్రీ MSME ఇండస్ట్రీ తట్టుకోవాలంటే అది ఒకటి ఉంటుంది సార్. మొన్ననే మంత్రి గారి దగ్గర తుమ్మల నాగేశ్వరరావు గారి దగ్గర మేము చెప్పకముందే మరి డైరెక్టర్ ఆఫ్ కమిషనర్ గారు మల్సూర్ గారు చెప్పారు, పక్క నైబర్స్ స్టేట్స్ లో కూడా 0.25 మార్కెట్ చేస్తున్నాయి సార్. దానివల్ల మనకు GST పోతున్నది సార్, IGST మనకు పోతున్నది. అంటే 7,500 పత్తి బయటికి ఫార్మర్ తీసుకుపోతలేదు, వేరే వాళ్ళు తీసుకుపోతే అక్కడ వాళ్ళు ఫార్మర్గానే ట్రీట్ చేసుకున్న మనకు ఒక 1% తోటి మనకు దాని మీద వచ్చే 5% IGSTలో కూడా మనం 2.5% అవుతుంది సార్. అది లాస్ అవుతున్నాము. దగ్గర 7 to 10 lakhs బిల్స్ పోతున్నది సార్. అది మనం నష్టపోవడం జరుగుతుంది. ఇటు ఇండస్ట్రీ నష్టపోతుంది, ప్రభుత్వం నష్టపోతుంది. దాన్ని కొంచెం కన్సిడర్ చేసి పక్క నైబర్ స్టేట్స్ లెక్క దాన్ని చూడాలని కోరుతున్నాం సార్. అలాగే వరంగల్ అనేది, నేను ఛాంబర్ ఆఫ్ కామర్స్ ప్రెసిడెంట్ సార్. వరంగల్ అనేది మనం సెకండ్ క్యాపిటల్ లెక్క అనుకున్నాం. తెలంగాణ తెచ్చుకున్నది కూడా దానికోసమే. మన ప్రెసిడెంట్ CII గారు కూడా నెట్లో కూడా సెమినార్ కండక్ట్ చేసిండ్రు సార్. మీరు కూడా వరంగల్లో ఎడ్యుకేషన్ చేసిన వాళ్ళే, మీకు చాలామంది పరిచయం ఉన్న వాళ్ళే. అంతా మీ ఏజ్ నుంచి మీ పై ఏజ్ వాళ్ళకు కూడా మన నుంచి ఇక్కడ నుంచి చాలా కంట్రీస్ లోపల హయ్యర్ పొజిషన్లలో ఉన్నారు. ఎడ్యుకేషన్గా కూడా చాలా వరంగల్ అనేది ఫేమస్ సార్. దానికి సంబంధించిన ఫార్మా కానీ, IT, అలాగే ఇంజనీరింగ్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్కి సంబంధించినది చేయాలి సార్. రైల్వే కనెక్టివిటీస్ కూడా నార్త్ సౌత్కు సెంట్రల్ పాయింట్ సార్. దయచేసి ఏంటంటే ఈ 10 సంవత్సరాలు గతంలో కూడా తీసుకునే ఓన్లీ హైదరాబాద్ సరౌండింగ్స్ ఏమన్నా సార్, మిగతాది కరీంనగర్ కానీ, వరంగల్ కానీ, నల్గొండ లోపల ఈ 15 సంవత్సరాల లోపల పెద్ద ఇండస్ట్రీస్ రాలేదు సార్. దయచేసి వరంగల్ లోపల కొంచెం స్పెషల్ అంటే ఒక్కొక్క ఇయర్ ఒక్కొక్క డిస్ట్రిక్ట్కు కొన్ని పాలసీస్ సపరేట్గా ఇచ్చి దాన్ని డెవలప్మెంట్ చేస్తే బాగుంటుందని సార్. ఇప్పుడే ఏంటంటే అవుటర్ రింగ్ రోడ్లలో కూడా ల్యాండ్ అనేది లేదు సార్. ఎక్కడ కూడా 200 acres కూడా లేదు. వరంగల్ అయితే నియర్ ఇప్పుడు స్పైస్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్ అనేది వాళ్ళు కడుతున్నారు సార్. ఒక దగ్గర 50 crores తోటి లేటెస్ట్గా ఇండస్ట్రీ కడుతున్నారు. వాళ్ళకి కావాలంటే ఎక్కడ మనకు వంగర్లో ఇచ్చింది సార్. అంటే మార్కెట్ నుంచి వెళ్ళి దగ్గర 70 kilometers డిస్టెన్స్ తోటి ఉంటుంది. మంచి తెలంగాణలో కూడా హైయెస్ట్ ఎక్స్పోర్టర్ సార్. డైలీ 20 tons అబోవ్ ఎక్స్పోర్ట్స్ కూడా చేస్తున్నారు. చాలా పెద్ద ఎత్తున చేస్తున్నారు. అట్లాంటి వాళ్ళకు ప్రోత్సాహంగా ఇప్పుడే మనకు కనీసం ఏంటంటే ల్యాండ్ బ్యాంక్ ఒక 200 నుంచి 500 ఎకరాలు ప్రొక్యూర్మెంట్ చేసుకుంటే భవిష్యత్ తరాలకు ఉపయోగం ఉంటాం అనేది ఒకటి సార్. అలాగే ఫుడ్ ప్రాసెసింగ్ ఇండస్ట్రీకి సంబంధించిన పాలసీ కూడా ఒకటి సపరేట్గా ఇవ్వాలి సార్. ఎందుకంటే మన తెలంగాణలో కూడా ప్యాడీ, మేజ్, అలాగే స్పైస్ అనేది చిల్లీస్ అనేది ఫేమస్ సార్. మన దగ్గర ఖమ్మం, వరంగల్ చాలా మనకు బయటి కంట్రీస్కు మ్యాక్సిమం 65% మన దగ్గర నుంచి ఇండియా నుంచి వెళ్ళిపోతుంది. దాంట్లో 50-60% వరంగల్, ఖమ్మం నుంచి వెళ్ళిపోతుంది. కాబట్టి దానికి సంబంధించిన మ్యాంగోకు ఇవన్నీ ఒక పాలసీ తీసుకొస్తే బాగుంటుంది సార్. ఏంటంటే వ్యవసాయ రంగాన్ని కూడా మరి దాంట్లో ఉపాధి అవకాశాలు కూడా ఉంటుంది. పోను మన దగ్గర సార్ రా మెటీరియల్ తెలంగాణ ఉన్నంత ఏ మెటీరియల్ కానీ అంటే ఫుడ్ ప్రాసెస్ రైస్ కానీ మొదలు పెడితే వెజిటేబుల్ కూడా భారతదేశంలో కూడా మీ అన్ని రాష్ట్రాలు తినేను సార్. మనంత టేస్ట్ కలిగిన ఇవి ఫుడ్స్ కానీ వెజిటేబుల్స్ కానీ ఫ్రూట్స్ కానీ కాటన్ కానీ చిల్లీస్ కానీ ఏది కూడా ఉండదు సార్. 1,10,000 లాస్ట్ బిఫోర్ ఇయర్ మన దగ్గర టమాటా చిల్లీస్ అని ఓన్లీ వరంగల్లో పడుతుంది సార్. 1,10,000 ఫర్ క్వింటల్ సార్. గోల్డ్ కంటే ఎక్కువ పోయింది.
సార్ మీరు ఆల్సో చెప్పారు దట్ వరంగల్ నుంచి చిల్లీస్ కేరళ వెళ్ళి కేరళ నుంచి ఎక్స్పోర్ట్
కేరళ సార్. మన యొక్క ఈ స్పైస్ కు సంబంధించిన ల్యాబ్ సార్. ఎందుకంటే కేరళకు కానీ లేకపోతే బాంబేకి కానీ పంపించాల్సి వస్తుంది సార్. 15 days టైం పడుతుంది. అట్లా కాకుండా గత ప్రభుత్వం కూడా భారత ప్రభుత్వం కూడా అనౌన్స్ చేసింది సార్. ఒక ల్యాబ్ మనకి ఇక్కడ తెలంగాణ లోపల వచ్చేటట్టు ఏర్పాటు చేస్తే బాగుంటుందని తెలియజేస్తూ ఈ యొక్క ఒకటి ఎయిర్పోర్ట్ కూడా తొందరగా ఉండాలి సార్. డ్రై పోర్ట్ కూడా ఒకటి ఉంటే ఎక్స్పోర్ట్స్కు మనకు ఈజీగా ఉంటుంది సార్. ఇవి కొంచెం కన్సిడర్ చేసి చేయాలని చెప్పి కోరుతూ థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్. నమస్తే. ఓకే సార్. షూర్ సార్.
Sir, today spice industry consumer packing is facing a lot of problems sir. Because earlier to this कोई guidelines नहीं था गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से specification में food safety norms में इतना strictly they have done so that we are not in a position to compete because whatever the raw material is being produced by the farmer we are not going adding anything to that and our products are being samples have been drawn by the food safety standards and are being rejected. 99% of these samples are being rejected on ground of excessive pesticides. Is it our mistake sir? No. Then how industry will survive sir? अगर या तो आप गाइडलाइंस दीजिए फार्मर शुड नॉट यूज पेस्टिसाइड और आप गाइडलाइंस दीजिए कि 253 माइक्रोन जो हम टेस्ट करा रहे सर इट इज हाईली इम्पॉसिबल फॉर स्मॉल इंडस्ट्री इवन फॉर द बिग इंडस्ट्रीज आल्सो टू गेट each and every sample to be tested sir. So how we will face the problem sir? How हम कैसा चैलेंज को फेस कर सकते हैं? इंडस्ट्री सर्वाइव नहीं होगा सर.
Thank you sir. Thank you sir. Thank you sir.
पेस्टिसाइड्स का रेसिड्यू आप जो गवर्नमेंट फूड सेफ्टी स्टैंडर्ड नॉर्म्स जो डिसाइड किया ना सर वो गाइडलाइंस आप फॉलो करना चाह रहे हैं तो उसका गाइडलाइंस हमको भी बोलिए कि यू शुड फॉलो दिस.
These are
so we will test the samples and then we will go. So इसमें farmer will face the lot of problems also sir इसमें. और एक छोटा मोटा ऐड करने के लिए बोलता हूँ सर इंडस्ट्री एस्टैब्लिश करते हैं तो जीएसटी रिबेट ओनली प्लांट एंड मशीनरी पे दे रहे हैं. कंस्ट्रक्शन पे भी इंडस्ट्री पे भी दीजिए कैपिटल एसेट पे भी देंगे इट इज अ काइंड ऑफ इंसेंटिव ओनली सर सब्सिडी ओनली काइंड ऑफ क्योंकि विदाउट द लैंड एंड बिल्डिंग विदाउट द एसेट वी कैन नॉट गो फॉर द इंडस्ट्री आल्सो. सो जीएसटी व्हाटएवर द कलेक्टेड ऑन फिक्स्ड एसेट आप उसको इनपुट में दे दीजिए सर.
Thank you sir. Thank you. Next Mr. Dhanraj Thirumalai sir. He leads our panel on MSMEs.
Firstly, my compliments to you and the government for coming up with MSME industry policy. I mean, in the past we only used to have a broad-based industry policy, but this first time one is happy to see a MSME-focused policy. Minister Garu, the point that I have here is about clean and green sector. I was looking forward to some announcement of incentives to encourage the MSMEs to adopt the clean and green practices. from 1st of January next year, CBAM, that is Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, is going to kick in by EU. It's a EU tax for anybody exporting to EU. Most of the MSMEs are not aware of this particular thing. Though India is a signatory for the carbon neutrality agreement by 2070, EU is going by 2050, and there's a stronger emphasis on MSMEs to have good carbon practices and carbon capture mechanism. So incentives for the clean and green is something that we need to look at.
Thank you.
I just wanted to add to the Rasgar what he said. So if we can allow the MSME to produce their own green power elsewhere in the state, and by paying the transmission charges and utilize the same energy for their own industry, so that gives a lot of boost to the green energy, so that we can produce elsewhere in the state where there's an abundant land is available, that energy can be used by the industries. And one more point I just want to put up is, you being the IT minister also too. So when it comes to the technology upgradation of the MSMEs, it's very expensive affair. Basically, if you buy some softwares or maybe some things. So we can think of to have a subsidized program or maybe a group kind of a licensing program for the entire state of MSMEs. So thereby the technology upgradation or maybe technology utilization will become easy. So it becomes very easy for the MSME to get along to the world.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir. Respected Minister Sridhar Babu garu. Thanks for the new policy announced by the Chief Minister today morning. So I would like to say about something about the micro and small industries, where every production line runs with more manpower, semi-automized, because the affordability will be very less for the micro small industries, where the large industries runs with the automized artificial intelligence, so they can afford anything, they can employ skilled people, whereas we cannot afford to pay the salaries also sometimes. So we expect subsidies to be cleared, sir, to the micro small industries, because it's a long pending since 10 years. At least you should consider for the micro and small industries to be released our subsidies immediately, sir, because you have already taken about 8 months old government now. So you have to take initiative this one. We are also like as farmers.
So it's like about 4,000 crores.
Yeah.
It's not been paid for the past 5-6 years.
8 years.
Huge burden for the state.
That's if you
Thank you.
We are trying to project for the new MSME policy unless I clear off these dues.
Thank you.
You can, sir, if you think that if you want to pay, you can pay immediately. So I don't think it is a burden to the government around 3,000 crores for the micro small. It is not an issue, sir, for the government. If you think if overnight you can do it also, sir. I don't think, sir. Is it impossible? It's a possibility, sir. Please, it's all. It's not today's request. It is for the past 9 years, sir.
The Deputy CM and the Finance Minister talked about this, and he said he will. He is working on plans to make payouts, but over a schedule,
This
in a
point
phased
is
manner.
discussed last 9 years in every meeting.
Yeah. So yes, sir.
Yeah, but the minister, the opportunity
Yes, sir.
we get
Yes,
to
sir.
speak to the
Sure,
minister,
sir. Sure, sir.
very rare we can get
Sure,
to meet you, sir. I am the president for the Junior Industry Association, so I am requesting to do it this for the honor of officials, sir. Please, that is one request. Thank you very much.
AVPS Garu. Next.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. Honorable Minister Garu, Commissioner of Industries, also I would like to bring a different perspective, in fact, not on the grievances. We all have grievances. I also might have my grievance. But what I must commend the government and the Industries Department, IT, law, headed by you. You are Minister 12 years ago. At that time, the Commissioner was Rajat Kumar was there. Even before Nanga time, meet out Karikal Valvan. So now Rattam also is there. Because Jayesh and anyhow he is there with you. Ease of doing business ante edo statistics petti tarvata awards తీసుకోవడానికి చేయడం కాకుండా what I observed since we met you first time after you took oath and then Davos, there is significant difference in the approach to the industry, your department. So compliments. In fact, I wanted to add this. We all discussed this. We wanted to commend your effort at least there is a conduit, open conduit. అది డాక్టర్ మల్సూర్ అవని లేకపోతే విష్ణు అవని జయేష్ గారు అవనివ్వండి సార్ మీరు అవనివ్వండి ఈవెన్ యూ ఆన్సర్డ్ మై ఫోన్ కాల్ సమ్ టైమ్స్ అది చాలా బాగా కనబడుతుంది, సిగ్నిఫికెంట్ కనబడుతుంది. ఇది ప్రజల్లోకి పోవాలి, ఐ మీన్ ఇండస్ట్రీ కమ్యూనిటీలోకి వెళ్ళాలి. అయిపోయిన ఆఫ్ కోర్స్ ఇన్సెంటివ్స్ ఇస్తే నేను కూడా ఆనందపడేవాడిని పాత బ్యాక్లాగ్ చేసుకుంటే. అట్ ద సేమ్ టైం మనం కూడా తెలుసుకోవాల్సింది ఏంటంటే కన్స్ట్రక్టివ్గా మీరు మాకు హెల్ప్ చేయడానికి మేము మీకు ఎలా తోడ్పడగలం. దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ సిఐఐ ఈస్ డూయింగ్. ఐఎమ్ ప్రౌడ్ టు బి పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద సిఐఐ టీమ్. మీరు తమరు పొద్దున కూడా సిఐఐ ఎఫర్ట్స్ని అప్లోడ్ చేశారు. అయితే ఒక స్పెసిఫిక్ పాయింట్ చెప్తాను. మీరు చెప్పినట్టుగా మనం దావోస్ నుంచి మన ప్రయాణం జరుగుతూ ఉంది. మీరు యూఎస్ వెళ్ళారు, యూకే వెళ్ళారు, తర్వాత సౌత్ కొరియా వెళ్ళారు. బిగ్ ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్స్ వస్తున్నాయి బికాస్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ కంటిన్యూడ్ ఎఫర్ట్స్. పెద్ద పెద్ద ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్స్ వస్తున్నాయి, లార్జ్ స్కేల్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్ వస్తున్నాయి. ఇప్పుడు టెక్నాలజీ అనేది ఇంటిగ్రేటెడ్ పార్ట్ అయిపోయింది అన్ని ఇండస్ట్రీస్ కూడా. దేర్ ఇస్ నథింగ్ లైక్ ఎ స్టాండ్ అలోన్ టెక్నాలజీ, దేర్ ఇస్ నథింగ్ లైక్, ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఈజ్ ఇంక్లూసివ్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ డిజిటల్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్ టెక్నాలజీ అన్ని మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ ఇండస్ట్రీలో, అన్ని సర్వీస్ ఇండస్ట్రీలోనూ ఉంది. సో దీన్ని ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ ఫర్దర్గా ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ బూస్ట్ చేయడానికి, తర్వాత పెద్ద లార్జ్ పరిశ్రమలకి ఉపయోగపడడానికి ఒక కన్స్ట్రక్టివ్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్స్ విత్ ద హెల్ప్ ఆఫ్ సిఐఐ అండ్ అదర్ ఫార్మా ప్లాట్ఫామ్స్, అయితే ఫార్మా, ఫుడ్ అయితే ఫుడ్ మీరు తీసుకొని అది వాళ్ళకి హెల్ప్ అవుతుంది. కామన్ పీపుల్ చాలామంది ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ ఒక పర్టికులర్ స్ట్రాటజిక్ మేనర్లో వెళ్తుంది. ఇప్పటిదాకా ఏంటంటే స్కాటర్డ్లో ఉంది. And it will be a big plus point for all the investors coming in also. Okay, we are giving you land, we are giving you this, we are giving that, etc. We are saying that. But this point, please emphasize this point also. Whatever your satellite industries, your raw material services and all, they all will be taken care. So Dr. Malsur will make that full exercise before the industry comes in. And he, with our help of the associations, he will foresee what they require. And it's a win-win situation. I think this way the industries also progress and the government also gets a good traction, sir. Another one more point, on 26th of this month, I think you are already invited. I'm not promoting that event, but pharma lab, pharma manufacturing is the largest show happened till since the beginning. In the high-tech city, 40,000 square meters, it is oversold. And I wish you and also come and see. And there are a lot of companies coming and displaying that also. 40,000 square meters is a pharma manufacturing. That I wanted to mention.
Thank you, VPS Garu. There is a question from the lady in the back, please. Can you introduce yourself and state your question? Thank you.
Namaste, Minister Garu, Malsur Garu and all the chair on the dais. I am Harini Chodagam and I am the founder of Palasa Manufacturers, which is into missionary manufacturing for the women hygiene segment. And as it is the dream of the state government, which was announced today in the policy to increase the share of SHGs to 1 crore from 68 lakhs right now. So I have a small suggestion. I know I'm just a drop in the ocean. We work very closely with the SHGs since we are in the women hygiene segment, and we manufacture sanitary napkin manufacturing machineries and other allied machineries. There are a lot of interested people in the SHGs who would like to start something on their own and make it big, but they lack a lot of skills, like how to manage their finances, how to market their products, and how to reach to the larger audience or larger customers. Due to these constraints, even though they are enthusiastic to start the business, they get subsidy from the bank or the government schemes. They start it off, but it is not taking off as expected. And they are turning out to be sick units. So a lot of skill upgradation or skill support is needed to the SHGs. And as far as we are concerned, we can help, at least in this women hygiene segment, for the SHGs to flourish.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, Honorable Minister and other dignitaries. First, let me congratulate for the wonderful pro-MSME policy that you've launched today. So I'm Dr. Uday Shankar. I'm standing in the capacity of CEO for Chalk. Chalk is in Chaurasta. It's a AI-based digital vernacular platform we have created. AI, there's been a lot of focus. With my background of technology last 20 years, we have created this platform where we start with the initial motive of upskilling all the blue collar and grey collar workers, one. Two is also get them a lot of job opportunities through our aggregation, and also not stopping at this front, we're also going ahead and providing them financial, healthcare and social security services as well. So at last we are trying to aggregate a platform. It's a free application for all the people to download and leverage the services. So that's about this platform. So my submission is, while there is so much of focus on skill development, while we are trying to build skill development universities as well, right? So we have many skill development centers which are already existing. Infrastructure has been really pathetic, dilapidated buildings, which doesn't motivate the students at all. Absolutely, when compared to a lot of other states, youth we see, right? Hardly youth are really interested. Looking at the infrastructure, they lose all the inspiration, motivation, and they walk back. So it's not by choice, it's something by force they are trying to take this. So why don't we take care of these buildings and create some motivation, maybe at a very young level. My son is studying in 6th grade, he is giving FLT, financial literacy program, training programs at grade 6. Why don't we introduce vocational trainings at young ages? It can be optional, it can be one of the courses. Why don't we introduce very young, which is happening in many other countries as well, so that the interest level is actually starting at very young age. It's not that only when we actually pass out and we come out of it. So just one more submission, sir. This is one of my submissions. Second is, while we are talking about employment and the inclusivity, right, we are not actually focusing much on the healthcare of the laborers. So whereas actually they all fall back, while they are earning good amount of money in whatever different trades that they are in, we are not focusing on healthcare. Let's say, for example, there are some women, men who are working in age mapped to actually missing. So there has to be some law because of which when they are suffering, right, proper healthcare services are offered to them. So this is my second submission. I'm really happy if we can actually work with you on this. And one last point is, we are trying to build a CSR consortium, sir. I think for government actually is looking at CSR as one of the key fund management for all these initiatives, right? I held 20 years of CSR experience. We are trying to get funds from a lot of IT companies and corporates to fund for such buildings of our projects. We'll be happy to work with you on this endeavor, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Gentlemen
much
in
for the
that.
opportunity.
Sir, I am Dr. Suresh, representing Captive Overseas Private Limited as a Managing Director and President for Ignite Entrepreneurs Association. సార్ నేను ఒక సజెషన్ ఇప్పుడు ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేయడానికి ఇంకొక 6 months టైం ఉంది కాబట్టి ఒక సజెషన్ ఇవ్వాలనుకుంటున్నాను సార్. ఇన్ రైట్ నౌ ఇంపేషన్స్ వరల్డ్లో వీఆర్ అట్రాక్టింగ్ టువర్డ్స్ కంప్లీట్లీ ఐటీ అండ్ అదర్ సర్వీసెస్. మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్కి రిలేటెడ్ ఒక సజెషన్ ఏంటంటే, కంప్లీట్గా ఒక 40 acres ఒక పార్క్ బిల్డ్ చేసి దానిలో ఏదర్ గవర్నమెంట్ ఆర్ థర్డ్ పార్టీ కంప్లీట్గా యూటిలిటీస్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేస్తామంటే ఒక 100 members వాళ్ళ పైలట్ ప్లాంట్స్ పెట్టుకునే స్కోప్ వస్తుందండి. సో దట్ విత్ ఇన్ ద ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్ వాళ్ళు రెవెన్యూ జనరేషన్ స్టార్ట్ చేస్తారు. ఇన్ ద నెక్స్ట్ 2 years వాళ్ళు ఇన్వెస్టర్స్ దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళడానికి వీలవుతుంది. సో ఈ ప్రాసెస్ లేకపోవడం వల్ల రైట్ నౌ ఇన్వెస్టర్స్ అంతా ఒకే మైండ్ సెట్తో ఉన్నారు. వేర్ ఇస్ ఎవర్ ప్రోడక్ట్, లేదా వాళ్ళకి కావాల్సింది ఏంటంటే ఐటీ ఇమీడియట్గా. సో దీనికోసం ఈ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ గ్రోత్ లేకపోతే ఈ సొసైటీ క్రియేషన్ ఎకానమీ కింద కన్వర్ట్ కాదు. రైట్ నౌ వీఆర్ ఇన్ అ స్నాచింగ్ ఎకానమీ that has to convert into the creation economy. ఇంకా సింపుల్గా చెప్తాను సార్. సార్ ప్రతి 100 మందిలో మనం 20 మంది ఉన్నాం ఇండియాలో. ప్రతి 100 unitsకి మనం సంపాదించేది 3.5 units. ఇంకా మనం 17.5 units సంపాదిస్తే ఇన్క్లూజన్ స్టేట్కి ఈ కంట్రీ వస్తుంది. సో కాబట్టి మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ గ్రోత్కి సంబంధించి ఒక పార్క్ ఏదైనా గవర్నమెంట్ ఇనిషియేటివ్ తీసుకుంటే, సపోజ్ ఎయిర్ కావాలంటే అట్లాస్ కాప్కో ఎనీ అదర్ కంపెనీస్ వచ్చేసి వాళ్ళు పెట్టేసుకుంటారు. ఇలా ప్రతి యూటిలిటీస్ వస్తే అప్పుడు ఒక చిన్న యూనిట్ పెట్టుకొని ప్రోడక్ట్ తీసేయచ్చు విత్ ఇన్ ద 20 lakhs ఆఫ్ కాస్ట్, 10 lakhs ఆఫ్ కాస్ట్. సో దాన్ని 3 years కంటిన్యూ చేస్తే ఇన్వెస్టర్స్ వస్తారు, SME IPOకి వెళ్తారు. సో దట్ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ గ్రోత్ వస్తుంది. సో దిస్ ఈస్ మై పాయింట్. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Core facilities, pilot scale facilities.
Utility facilities, completely. Road facility, utility facility, everything.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah. Shared facility. Anupama Garu.
Honorable Minister, and I am the chairperson for CII's Indian Women Network, and I represent the women voice that has come to your table for the policy formulation. firstly, I want to thank you for taking that effort, because that all started with one question that we made, that how much of women voice representation is reaching your table, sir. So we made this to Jayesh ji, and we took it, I mean, it was very, very humbling that the organization, the government came to us and said, why don't you do a ground level survey and report, and which is an opportunity for us from CII Indian Women Network to go on ground, look at all of the industrial estates, the women participating, working both as workforce as well as the MSME women leaders who are entrepreneurs. So there are a couple of very important recommendations that we have made as submissions, and it is very heartening. Manzoorji, thank you so much. When we discussed, they have come back into the policy, so it is really a very good gratitude moment for us. And it is also translating to one key word that has been mentioned, where it is associated with public-private partnerships. So we have been talking about the hostels, the creches, not just in the industrial associations, but also in places where the work factories are taken closer to the home ecosystems, which is the 119 constituency-centered flattened factory concept that you have come up with. That's brilliant on its own, and you have taken that extra care to mention that it will also have that focus on the hostels and the child care creche. So the importance of public-private partnership when you're looking at implementation will be very important. We have also, when we were discussing with Manzoorji, voiced two more things. One is about the biases and how we can overcome that when women leaders of businesses go for bank loans and all. The very interesting thing is about performance versus potential. The facility to bank loans and the credit facilities linked to future sales potential for women, and therefore extended support becomes very, very handy. And we have also talked about the challenges in terms of skill. We find there are two mentions there. One is definitely the concept translating from IT to MSME, which is the pool of skilled labor, and therefore building that pool, because when workplace moves closer to residences in terms of constituency centered, then more women are exposed and would want to be present there, and this skills building will become very important. And you have offered to re-look at the prohibition of women in certain sectors of MSME, and that will become very important because there will be more women participation in such segments. Thank you so much.
Thank you, gentleman in the back, and then we go to Dr. Chandan Chowdhury, who's waiting patiently online. Go ahead.
Sir, I am Rangarao. I am an independent supply chain consultant, and I gone through the entire the document, sir. It is very nice, and it is a dynamic. It is not a static. It is a dynamic. Whenever the changes are happen, there is no time frame. Earlier, there is a time frame for the MSME policy. The beauty of this policy is it is a dynamic, and I want to submit to Honorable Minister. One is the focus. It is not focused on the specific sector. For example, if you see the Warangal and the Nizamabad, they are famous for agri, and we have to make a clustering approach where each district can be take it as a nodal point where the growth is, opportunities will be there. For example, if you see the EV vehicles in Tamil Nadu, the Hosur is one of the cluster they have developed. Similarly, the Tirupur has a what is called the textile cluster. Similar type of some more exercise may be enhance the requirement of the each districts. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. So next.
Today we have a government which looks into all our problems. Other day there was a meeting in the Institute of Engineers where Sri Venkat Reddy Garu and Uttam Kumar Reddy, both of them came. So this policy is very good, and we have a government which looks into all our problems. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next we have Professor Chandan Chowdhury, sir. He is a professor at ISB, and he made a policy document on MSME and the strength of MSMEs in Telangana, sir. So he's an expert in that. Go ahead, Chandan Chowdhury Garu. Go ahead, sir. Sir, you're on mute. You're on mute, sir.
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah, okay. So what I'm planning to do is share with you 4 things I believe are very good in this policy. And 2 things I believe are very futuristic. And 1 thing that I believe we should do such that this new policy is made into a realistic possibility. First of all, I would like to mention that CII Telangana chapter. I'm familiar with various professional bodies' work on MSME. I think CII's Telangana chapter has done some very commendable work, and I'm happy we could partner from ISB. We did some primary research in Telangana and released a report where the esteemed Deputy Chief Minister was there to release the report on 2nd of March. Now, I would like to come to 4 things I believe are very good in this new policy. By the way, when I compare this policy with the policy of other states, I think the Telangana's new MSME policy is very, very compelling. So the first thing I find is very interesting is incentives that you are planning for MSMEs. Second is technology adoption and digitalization. Third is capacity building and skill development. And 4th being infrastructure development. So I think in these 4 areas have very clearly articulated how the new policies are paying attention to these 4 areas. 2 areas I believe which are extremely important, but they are futuristic, but it's good that the policy has captured them. One of them is green MSME development, where you are talking about various initiatives to promote green MSME development. Second is sustainable financing, which is for green loans and or grants. So I find them very, very interesting. I would like to share with you that many states which attempted and released MSME policies, but they have not done a good job as far as implementation is concerned, because they have not focused on implementation. So I think it will be extremely important to create awareness about the new policies that the government has come up with, and ISB will be extremely happy to partner with CII Telangana chapter and contribute to the MSME's growth in Telangana. Over to the chairman.
Thank you, Professor Chowdhury. The lady in the front, please. Go ahead.
So very good evening, sir, and congratulations. I'm Kavita Rajesh. I'm representing ALEEB and also former President HMA and President ABWCI. So it is very promising to know that women have given impetus in your policy. One is that 5%, 5 plots in every industrial park. That is very promising, and more of MSMEs will be the mainstream of the driving economy. So secondly, coming to the SCGs to SMEs. So we need to create more of infrastructure on incubation for the SCGs where they can, because for example, auto rickshaw driver where she was incubated at ALEEB today, she is manufacturing transformers. So that little hand-holding support which is given, so we can see that more of women coming onto the mainstream activities. And secondly, banning the single use of plastics, because we are talking about the biodegradable plastics and all that. So that would be a great impetus on to the startups where they can come into more biodegradable bags and all. And also the PSUs we were talking about earlier also when I represented the flow, we were talking about the measurables that we get the local preference on the PSUs for the manufacturing units. This is the point which I wanted to present to you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Any questions from CII members in Adilabad or Warangal Chamber of Commerce? Okay. If there's no questions, I think we could, Honorable Minister, Dr. Mansoor.
I have lots of questions. It's a long day and no, fine now.
most of the questions, I think my Deputy Chief Minister, Chief Minister and myself, including my special CS and the Director, industries have answered. Reddy Garu, you were mentioning about the skilled manpower. That is the reason of us going in for a skilled university. We have taken 3 different levels: unskilled, semi-skilled and skilled. These are the 3 verticals we would like to concentrate. Either it is for blue collar or for the white collar. The high-end technologies also we would like to train them. And also, for especially the Shekhar Reddy kept on telling about what does the construction industry require, what the expertise they need. And we have delved into it like simple electrician, simple carpentry job, where they don't find proper skill set required. From that model, whatever you were mentioning to your industry too, we would like to literally see that they cater to the skills. So ultimately, this is the beginning. And in a year's time, we will put on our strength and refine. So this is definitely, we identified this major issue. We don't have the skilled manpower. And for certain sections of industry, semi-skilled is just required. Not much of skill is required. So where do we take it? Now we are just on the journey, and all the inputs from the industry will be taken. And this skill university is absolutely industry driven. Absolutely. Tomorrow, I would like to inform, and I believe a couple of your people will also be invited for tomorrow's meeting, and I'll ask my people to invite CII, because Anand Mahindra is coming to chair the university. So tomorrow is the first meeting actually, and we would be going according what industry wants to. We just want to be a facilitator. We just don't want to regulate from A to Z. We just want to facilitate and see like how ISB and how IIIT are the success models. Just like that, we just want to make it a where national and international fame university tomorrow. And our point, basically my point is, if I can have the skill strength here, automatically industries will come here. Obviously, that's the main goal, because that saves lots of money, time, energy, and resources for them, and they'll be job ready from the next day. As such, we are, modernization of technology. Somebody else also mentioned about what we are doing regarding ITI is what we are doing. The next phase will be polytechnic. So introduction of the robotics, introduction of this disruptive technologies into their streams too. So that is what the international players demand over here. The skill strength required for them is this. And for modernizations with technology, for the industries already which are there, we are putting a 100 crore fund initially. That is the Yantram fund, to make them available so that they upgrade their technology to the next level. Yes, that is what we are. And in fact, I was mentioning this point too. You need exposure to the international trade and business model for your marketing. That is a very tough job I have seen. And many people have expertise, many people come up with niche products, but ultimately marketing, what we have seen, any enterprise, all the big corporate leaders are over here, they spend large amount of money on marketing too. So for a micro, small and medium entrepreneurs, it becomes so difficult to spend their resources for the marketing. How do we source it out? So that's the real reason I told my special CS to hire an international consultant who would be a guide and consultant to see that the products are competent enough to go into the international market, and also see that they have some space, like erecting pavilions and trying to do some road shows for our products. And people like us go there. We do road shows. We can take your products. We can sell, on behalf of you, on behalf of the state, that these are all the products. So if they are impressed, then we'll have the market. That we'll try to concentrate on it, definitely. And, from Adilabad, definitely recently I'd been there, Mr. Sanjeev ji. I was there and I'd gone to see that how I can revive Cement Corporation of India, a plant over there. So just trying to do that, what best can be done, because it's absolutely the central government initiation should be there. My Chief Minister spoke to the Industries Minister too. And thanks for the invite to come out to Adilabad. Also, regarding tax incentives differences bordering this state where the Maharashtra is also there, we will have a comparison, right? We would like to do that. Right now, we don't have that mandate as of now in this policy. We would like to, as it's dynamic, we would like to really relate, if there is any competition for the Adilabad products, if the same product, the Maharashtra guys do that. If there is a tax differences, then we can equate it. Then if we can think about it. But common policy today we have released is for whole state. That's what I meant. And definitely all of the suggestions you have been telling about it, we would like to go over it. And Ravindra Reddy garu మీరు కూడా చెప్పారు, నేను ఇప్పుడు రైస్ కు సంబంధించి అగ్రో బేస్డ్ ఇండస్ట్రీకి సంబంధించి ఫుడ్ ప్రాసెసింగ్ స్పైస్ ల్యాబ్ గురించి కూడా చెప్పినట్టు, కాటన్ దానిపైన ఇన్సెంటివ్స్ పెనాలిటీస్కి మీకున్న అంశం చెప్పారు. తప్పకుండా అది ఏంది కూడా నేను పరిశీలన చేస్తాను. బికాస్ అబ్సల్యూట్లీ రైట్ నౌ ఐ కాంట్ సే ఎనీథింగ్. And somebody said about the spice industry. The spice labs has to be created. Spice labs has to be created, but we will try to see, because recently, day before yesterday, I was in Mumbai. I was talking to Piyush Goyalji regarding this labs to put is for the spice, and other one is was asking for some other this turmeric lab. So these are all things what we are trying to see that. And dry ports, definitely this is a landlocked state. We are coming up with the 2 dry ports right now. One towards the western part, towards the Bombay port, and one towards the Krishnapatnam, bordering Nalgonda. So that this will help us to boost our trade. This we are working on it, sir. And ధనరాజు గారు మీరు గ్రీన్ గురించి చెప్పారు, గ్రీన్ ఎనర్జీ ఇన్సెంటివ్స్ ఫర్ ద క్లియర్ అండ్ గ్రీన్ స్పేసెస్ గురించి చెప్పడం జరిగింది. ఎనీవే దిస్ ఇస్ అ బిల్డింగ్ వేర్ వీఆర్ సిట్టింగ్ హియర్. అబ్సల్యూట్లీ ద గ్రీన్ బిల్డింగ్, ఫస్ట్ ఎవర్ బిల్డింగ్ ఇన్ 2003 and 2004, initial building by CII, great initiative. And we haven't yet thought of this clear and green, too many incentives as of now, because we just want to sensitize. First of all, we have to sensitize what is green energy. Many people doesn't know. So we would like to see that, and anyway, that's a good idea, because the carbon print is a major issue for anybody, and tomorrow, depending upon the carbon print only, everything will be moved, including the credit facility or whatever the incentives will be given. Yeah, in the Commissioner just telling is in the ramp what we have declared today, sensitization to go in for the green industry. That categorization is there, and the money is also there in that to sensitize them first. So that we will take it. And new energy policy is also on the annual actually. So I would like to say that the new energy policy for the captive consumption one and alternative energy models like solar, which is nation at the national stage too. 3 models of encouraging non-conventional energy, especially the solar. The center has come up with some policy decision. We would like to take the leverage out of it. For the past 3 years, I am sorry to say that, for the past 3 years, the solar has not been moved so fast, not taken advantage what central government has given. In other states, Chakravarti Garu, you know it was more, 7,000 megawatts in UP. And sir, Garu, we got only 150 megawatts. Just imagine, because I didn't understand why we haven't asked central government for that sort of a benefit. So we are now trying to put in our efforts. The new energy companies are also asking for the captive energy utilization. But the main principle, of the press, I can say that, our discoms thrive on industries. And we have to also see that we give free power to our farmers. So indirectly you are doing great service for the people, for the farmers. So this, I would like the subsidies to be cleared. Meer cheppinattu subsidies, definitely, in fact, Deputy Chief Minister was very clear. Even though I didn't mention on this days, fearing that he may not say something. Because before we had come down to meeting Chief Minister, also told Deputy Chief Minister to release the funds, and because for the past 6 years it's not been done, as told, we will definitely be taking it in a phase-wise manner, definitely. And G-Rementla Industrial Association has certain other problems too. I'll try to attend to it. And I told our commissioner also about it. And Chakravarti Garu is into a CII, so many things. Definitely, the collaborative effort will be taken in a big way. Government will be proactive, our department will be proactive, and we shall see that not too much of faceless interaction will be. We will try to provide. Otherwise, what happens? An element of bias takes place, and we can't do much justice. So I am trying to create or trying to see some technology. Otherwise, my industries commissioner tomorrow will be flooded with people, and he can only cater to 2 or 3 people whom he likes, or to the minister who I like. Right? That's how when the human element is there, there is always an element of bias. Absolutely, bias will be there. Human element anyway will be there. If I am known to Sai Prasad Garu, some element of bias will definitely take place, consciously or unconsciously. That is a psychological effect. So we will try to take your good advice and suggestions. And technology also will make it all inclusive. And expert committee, what have been mentioned about it, definitely. CM just was sitting beside, he told me, we'll put up a committee. Is it a task force compiling with the expert committee and all? We'll try to see that most of the work has to be borne by this task force committee, so that the burden on the officers will be less, and your vision and your ideas will absolutely be different. I as a policy maker will be slightly different. He as a policy implementer will have different ideas. But what industry really requires, if you can guide us, we can go. Harini garu cheppinattu, I appreciate you are into hygiene manufacturing industry. We are already doing it, ma'am. We are already doing capacity building. The self-help groups, if you see, in the remotest of the villages, there, when they didn't have anything to do with the money they have, now they can literally see their financial planning is so good. I don't think a guy sitting in a small office can do that. They do, and NPAs are below 1%, below 1%. So they lend money to their own members or to their own groups, and they try to do, and they get back the money. They maintain the ledgers, they maintain the account books in a more systematic way, and for whomever the capacity building is required, we will try to align with our MEPMA, and also our ramp also it is there. We will try to align them with them. The skill support and upgradation, definitely we are here for it. And Dr. Uday Shankar Garu, yeah, you've been telling about training of students. We are on the job. Recently in the AI conclave also we are trying to see that most of the companies have come forward to train about 10,000 students, 5,000 students with their own money in terms of the new technologies. So whatever the technologies which are very, very related for the students, where student can really relate themselves and have a capacity to learn about it. So that we will try to work out and try to do it. And sure, definitely we'll try to do that. Dr. Suresh Garu, you've been telling about the innovation hubs. I mean to say, shared services, what you have been mentioning, మీరు దానికి సంబంధించి అక్కడే ఒక హబ్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తే ఇన్నోవేషన్ బయటకు వస్తుంది, పైలట్ ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ వస్తాయి, దానివల్ల దాన్ని చూసి ఇంకోటి చేయొచ్చు అని అంటున్నాను. డెఫినెట్లీ గుడ్ ఐడియా. నౌ with that's a good idea actually.
I'll give the entire.
Yeah, sure, doctor. And ma'am, I was mentioning about Anupama Garu. I was mentioning about the social infrastructure. We are trying to, in the old industrial zones also where there are no social infrastructure, we will try to create it. Suppose, for example, in the major parks where there is a space available, we will try to create dormitories over there. Where there are 2,000 or 3,000 people working, for the blue collar or the white collar brothers, we will try to have a small PhD center over there. For the women, we'll have a crush. So this sort of a social infrastructure we would like to create. That's what in China, if you see this sort of social infrastructure is so robust. Then we will try to, if we have to really compete internationally, we have to do that and we will take it in a big level. And definitely, it will be gender neutral, and also we will address all the gender issues in terms of giving or lending or in terms of capacity building or the skill development. Rangarao Garu, yes sir. You've been telling, because you are the best judge, because you don't have anything, but as a consultant you will be giving so many suggestions. Cluster approach, definitely sir, we'll try to approach in that way too. Sir, Professor, sir, we are just sitting. Yeah, I do agree, until unless we focus on implementation, the best of the policy initiatives we will be failing. I do agree. And whatever the 4 which looked very good and the 2 futuristic, we will keep that in mind. And for the implementation too, and the accountability on part of the executive, we will have a separate mechanism. And in that mechanism, we will have a lateral entrance from the industry into that regulatory body, so that it will be neutral and they will be concentrated on implementation. And Commissioner sitting over here, he is writing down all those things, what I am speaking and what you have spoke, what best can be done. And the part of ultimately implementation is a big thing. If you don't implement, again the same professor will criticize from there. It may be a novel, it may be very, very progressive, and after a year, if you don't implement either of the 6 what we have mentioned, we will try to implement one by one. We have noted each of your points. Kavita Raju garu, and I mean to say this incubation centers, and anyway we are banning the single-use plastics anyway, and we will try to really relate to the PSUs and all. Absolutely we are taking it up, because plastics and such, you have everything, you know everything. Yes ma'am, we will try to do it. Hopefully I understood. Hopefully, and any other things which I have missed, Commissioner have noted it down, and we will come back to you. And if suggestions, if you think that you can put it in writing and send it to us, we are here to receive and get back to you. And thanks for your patience, because I was late for 1.5 hours, because I had a meeting which was extended for 2 hours. Thank you. And I thanks especially the Confederation of Indian Industry, the chair and the vice chair and all the people for making it possible to meet all the industry leaders here. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. I know it's been a very, very long day, and I have to state that After such a long day, the minister has patiently taken his notes as he remembered everybody by name, and he responded to each one of your questions in a personalized fashion with name and with your. This is one of the first times I've seen this in our country, I should say. I think, thank you so much, sir. I'm used to this in international boards. I'm part of international boards. We do this very routinely, but it's very humbling to see that.
Good evening, Honorable Minister Garu and dignitaries on the dais.
జరుగుతారా హలో అది మాట్లాడుతురు
In the morning, the policy was launched. I really need support from the industry associations in giving publicity to many issues that are related to the progress of MSMEs. I was also mentioning in the morning that certification, quality certification is most important for marketing of their products. I really need, I'll once again discuss with the major associations how best they can impress their members to get their product certified. That's one thing. And second thing is, as Honorable Minister Garu and everybody said, finances is the greatest hindrance for the progress of the MSMEs. There are a couple of Government of India schemes, you are all aware of it, like CGTMS, and also they can discount their products, threads, etc. And NSIC is also having a couple of very good schemes for selling their products. Recently we had we entered into a memorandum of understanding with NSIC. What is required is, see, every industry, most of the MSMEs are they're members in one or other association. So if you can, for 6 months, if with the support of the associations, the department will also come forward at the district level, because you have district level network. So for next 6 to 8 months, if you can take up this as a campaign, we can make MSMEs aware of many schemes available that can definitely help them to increase their business. With this, I thank all of you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Okay. No, I mean, I was very impressed the way he has taken notes and he's addressed everybody by name. So that's nice.
Thank you, Chairman. From my side, I have a couple of requests to the Honorable Minister. I'm Sridhar Babu. I'm representing MSMEs. Sir, Telangana state have been allotted 27 ESI dispensaries by the ESI Corporation, Delhi, where they're requesting for the land to be given. If we provide a land, they will construct a dispensary and run on the. So we already requested TGIAC and given to provide land wherever our industrial estate available, in the land available in the. This is mostly in rural areas, because in Telangana it's more scattered. If someone in Telangana, Hyderabad wants to come, they have to come all the way to Hyderabad dispensaries. So my sincere request is kindly allow either industrial estate land or government land wherever is available. Yeah, I'll provide you the. We have already given to PCMD Vishnu sir. I'll give you. So regarding the captive power, we have been requesting the government to allow the industry to more than 1 megawatt, but see, this is required because the companies who are exporting, they have to follow the ESG policy. That is the must. So my request to the minister is kindly do this at the earliest, sir, because like Mahindra and Mahindra, my friend is not here. He has been requesting CII in every function, every program. Yeah, so Ram is here. Ram, he has been requesting in many of the meetings. Sir, I'll just request. Just one word.
We ourselves, as Bharat Biotech,
Thank you, sir.
50 crore power project because
So request has been, since we have a lot of sustainability goals globally and nationally, and it is a need of the business also, we have been requesting to remove the cap of 1 megawatt and allow us to generate the power, whatever we need, and we will be happy to make surplus power and support you also. It has been long pending, and now it is becoming essential. Especially for us, now we are into electric vehicles, and one of the major criteria for investors is we want to see the plants running with green power if you want to make a green product. So that is also putting pressure on us. So please look into this and support us. Thank you.
Yeah. So I thank Honorable Minister Sridhar Babu garu for his time in spite of his busy schedule, and G. Mansoor garu, Director of Industries, for being present here and giving all the clarification for the new policy. And I thank Sai Prasad for his initiative in the morning meeting and now. And I thank Swami, our colleague, and all the past chairmen, our Anil Yapur and Shekhar Reddy garu for being present here. Sir, with this implementation of this policy, I hope that MSMEs in Telangana state will see the golden era under your leadership. And I thank all the participants for your active suggestions. And please give your suggestions in detail to CII Secretariat. We'll definitely represent this to government and see that the policy is implemented as per the wishes of MSMEs in Telangana. Thank you once again.
Ready, sir.
Thank you, sir.
battery. For recycling. Criteria చెప్తారు. So, we are coming up with so many parks, right? MSME parks. Few.
Request all the members to please join for the high tea just outside this hall. Thank you.
This is done by promote manufacturing, sir, and the awards are presented by the government.
Actually, every year the government gives away industrial awards. Hello, how are you, ma'am? On time, Brazil. Other questions is not. Task force is created by some industry. MSME. No, not exactly. We have to discuss a lot who has to be part. From each vertical, if you see some industry, one vertical. We were like, because on the days itself, CM told No, it's about what we have done in a arbitrary exercise. These are all things. What we have mentioned for this year. In addition, what we get from the central government, we will try to link it. Dowtail is right. Not exact figures, because we are trying to create one nine. Mini industrial parks for women itself. So where we will dovetail the fund from the self-help group fund, and we have 20,000 crore money will be infused in SHs. That also is, diverted here. No, not in budget. That is the bank linkage. Bank linkage. What we'll try to see that if one product is there with one women or a group of lady entrepreneurs, these bodies will help them. It is a market. Long way to go.
And in terms of this one from each sector.
Not much.
Aerospace, defense.
We will decide either it will be 5 or 9 max.
And added by the local industry.
Yes, absolutely related by Telangana industry.
Different. Somebody says 3,000.
3,700 crores which are pending.
Since when? So now this is crowded. Because they said phase minor. But something like every quarter, something.
It all depends upon how do we get the revenue.
So first tranche.
Obviously, continuing. We
First
can't, if we differ in our political ideology, poor MSME entrepreneur who has been given a small certificate, we should not get suffering.
And from when can we actually see the